Hello, 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 and welcome to the Bada Show. I'm very happy to be here, if you can't tell. I am one of your hosts, Dave, and down there, for some reason, his face just turned into this giant thing that I now have to fix. Yes,
Did
we
it?
get technical issues right off the bat. So I'll deal with that. But that's
Great.
Chris, who I'm about to shrink back down to normal
Hmm.
size. Hopefully here, just give me a minute. But Chris, in the interim,
Oh,
there you
yeah,
are,
there I
very
am.
big like.
Boy, oh boy.
Tell me how you
Hmm.
be.
I'm
Well,
busting out
let's
of the
see if I can
box.
fix you. Are you fixed? Oh, there you are. Hello. All better now.
Beautiful,
Well, not
beautiful.
really. I get this all messed up. But anyway, how are you? Talk to me, brother.
Oh, oh, it's just another week of weeks. Nothing worth talking about, but it's
Come on.
topsy-turvy over here.
That's
How
what we're
about
here
you?
for, is talking about stuff. So everything is worth talking about, okay?
It's true.
Me, I am fantastic. I'm finally a little bit warmer because
Hmm.
Dallas, everybody loves talking about the
That's good.
weather. Dallas has been nothing but a frozen wasteland of my nightmares lately. So that's been absolutely terrible.
Hmm.
But other than that, I really can't complain. I'm happy to be here talking comics with you today. And as a matter of fact, we got some cool stuff to talk about because there's some DC news that just
This is
dropped
true.
yesterday. We're talking like breaking
Hmm.
news, news flash stuff. And per usual, you
Hmm.
have no idea what the hell is going on. Zip,
Zip.
zero, zilch, nada. So
And since it's current year comic news, it could
it
be
really could
anything.
be. This,
They could be shuttering the windows. They could be launching a 17 new Batman
well,
books. I mean,
guess
who
what? You're
knows?
not far off the mark here, buddy. And I like to
Okay.
surprise you. I like getting your natural
Uh-huh.
reactions on air about the news. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see if you grunt or if you smile,
Okay.
depending on how you take this news. So the Comics
Gotcha.
Pro event with retailers happened yesterday, and DC dropped
Hmm.
some information about some new books coming out. First one, first
Okay.
one is there's going to be a new. Well, I shouldn't call it new. It's going to be the Batman book, but it's going to get a new number one.
Hmm.
It's getting renumbered, baby. Yes. So after there we go. I was waiting for
Uh,
that reaction. So okay, do you at least want to know the creative team behind this book? Maybe that might.
this is after
Yes,
Hush, I'm
indeed. After
guessing.
Hush 2. So it's going to be Matt
Okay.
Fraction and Jorge
Oh.
Jimenez will be the artist.
Okay. But okay.
Nothing else
Uh,
to say about this? No.
wow. Fraction is a. I haven't read any Fraction in a long time, so it's probably not fair of me to say anything. But he would be like my streak killer a lot of times.
Oh.
Like he would start on a book, and it would just be like he's on the X-Men. I didn't stop buying X-Men, but I stopped reading it. He was on I think FF,
Mm-hmm.
like the second run of FF or something like that, and that was another one. Um, he has a lot of telltale habits where he had those fractions where like it's like these too cute by half captions when they introduce
Uh-huh.
people. It's like Jean Grey finally it's like team leader took him long enough. It's like, would you just stop?
Well,
Like it reminded me of like the Chuck Austin things where like when Chuck Austin was on the X-Men, he introduced well, he didn't introduce Joe Casey introduced that mutant prostitute Stacy
yes, I
X,
remember.
who they should have just called X Stacy. And in one of Boston's first runs, he did a little cute caption, and it's like Stacy X, slutty
Ooh.
but fun. It's like,
Naughty,
dude, come on.
naughty.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I haven't read Fraction in a long time. Um, maybe
Okay.
who
I
knows?
mean, I can't speak to much of his work. I really enjoyed his,
Mhm.
and you know this, the Jimmy Olsen
The Jimmy
maxi that
Olsen.
he did. I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty good. Jorge Jimenez
Hmm.
is always worth the price of admission artistically,
Sure,
but I
sure.
just took it off screen, so I'm going to put it back on again so you can see it. There are,
Hmm.
because here's the other thing with the new number one, new costume, new Batmobile, new this, new that, new whatever. So check out this costume.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's immediately going to strike you as being very Nightwing esque. Okay.
Okay. So could it actually be him under the cowl?
No. As far as I know, it's supposed to be Bruce Wayne. But if you
Okay.
look at here, can you see that on your screen now? This new Batman design.
I'm waiting for it. It should hopefully be coming up in a second here. We lag on the live
Yeah, I
stream,
would have
so.
texted you these things ahead of time, but yet again, I wanted your raw
Oh, okay.
reaction in real time. But as you can see, it's like a blue gray.
Yeah, it's
Uh huh.
blue.
And there's
Yeah.
like a new chest insignia, which I think that's where I lead to my kind of Nightwing comparison, you know?
Yeah,
But yeah,
for
so
sure.
that's going to be dropping though, not this summer, but in September. Yet again, after
Okay.
Hush #2. So new creative team, new #1.
Hmm.
Chris gave a long groan to this. Um,
It's just the number one of it. Why?
okay. Yeah,
Why?
I think it would have been much more
You know.
impressive if they just kept going with the numbering and just threw on the new creative team. We've talked about this ad
Hmm.
nauseum in the past. Much respect when they
Yeah.
do those kind of things. So
Which just tells you how little faith they have in a name like Matt Fraction.
yeah, well,
Matt Fraction, if you believe in him, should be enough to sell an issue 145 or an issue one.
mm, one thing I didn't
Without
mention.
all the gimmicks, the bells and the whistles. I mean, what do you end up?
Well, this is something that will definitely not pique your interest, but there was a show
Hmm.
based in the Godzilla MonsterVerse on Apple Plus
Hmm.
called Monarch, which I love that show. I thought it was fantastic. And Matt Fraction was one of the writers, co-creators of that program. So I don't know.
Hmm.
We'll see. You know, I am I necessarily going to sub to it? I'm not sure yet. I don't know. You're going
Hmm.
to be automatic no matter who's on the book, correct?
I mean, my full run of Batman goes back to pre-crisis, so
And this is going to be
probably.
something that we're going to have to talk about more in depth towards the end of this segment.
Oh yeah, in the
No, I'm
fall.
talking today.
Yeah. Oh, at
Oh,
the end of the
yeah.
segment.
Oh,
Oh,
buddy,
okay.
calm down. We are
Oh
not
lordy.
putting a pin in that.
Oh
We're
lordy.
putting scotch tape on it because it's going to be back in
Oh,
like 10 minutes. We're going to
okay.
discuss this because trust me, just wait. There's more. So, okay.
Oh
Oh,
no.
yes. So now for the
I need a
you
Valiant.
you might need a few. So let's get on to our next reveal from DC Comics,
Uh-huh.
and this one ties into the Summer of Superman event, especially with the big
Okay.
motion picture blockbuster coming in July, and that is I believe it's
Hmm.
a 5-issue mini of Crypto,
Hmm.
the Super Dog. You see, Be-
Oh,
yeah,
I mean, we could take or leave that.
okay.
Yeah.
Are you interested in the creative
I
team
mean,
on this? Because I think I might have.
not
Okay.
terribly, but go ahead.
All right. So here's the deal. And I'm going to confess now, had I been more, I don't know, at the ready, I probably would have pulled the audio clip of me saying this from a previous episode of the Bada Bin
Hmm.
show. But I mentioned that I would be willing
Uh-huh.
to check out anything that this writer does because I've enjoyed his work on Fantastic Four. So let's kind of do it
Oh, okay.
pseudo ghetto style. I'll say, yeah, Ryan North. I'll check out anything he writes. Whoops, Dave. Why did I
Hmm.
ever say that? Because he is the writer of Crypto the Superdog coming out June 18th of this year.
Mm.
So the pain.
The Super Pets and the all the pet
Mm,
books outside of Jeff the Landshark, because Jeff the Landshark is what it is. It's silly, it's cute, and it's not trying to be anything more than that. Like they have like Lockjaw and the Avenger pet. It's like, whoa. It's a question I was going to pose a little bit later on in the show,
okay.
actually, because I've been doing a lot of reading in like fanzines. I've been still doing the Usenet stuff, and it was actually going to tie into the Summer of Superman thing with the Dan Slott book. The question is, who is it for? Who's asking for it? That's a question that I've been reading in fanzines from the 70s. Fans were asking it then. On Usenet during the 80s and 90s, fans were asking it then when new books would be launched for whatever reason. I look at the Superman book. Superman Unlimited, is
Yes,
it?
correct.
Is that what it's
Yes.
called? Okay. Superman fan it as another book when Superman already has 2 books, only one of them is worth a damn. People who don't like Superman are going to go, ugh, another Superman book. I'm trying to think, like, outside of people who are paid to like it, who's looking forward to it? A Crypto the Superdog. It's lol random, but who is asking for it?
You know,
I just don't
I
know.
think with crypto being,
I mean, put a Legion of Superheroes book out. You don't have one of
yeah.
those before you launch a crypto book.
Well, hey, luckily this is
Put
just
out
a
a
mini.
decent Legion book.
Okay.
Of course, because it would have to be.
Mhm. But you're right. Where's our Jonah Hex book? Where's our Swamp Thing book?
Where's a Jonah
Yeah,
book? Where's a Swamp
but
Thing?
instead we're gonna put some
You have you have
effort.
you have characters that only you have, DC. Marvel can't put out a Jonah Hex book. Marvel can't put out a Legion book.
Hmm.
Put out a damn Legion book that's worth a damn before we start worrying about Crypto the LOL Superdog.
Well, yet again, this is something that's kind of sticks in your craw in particular, where it's
Hmm.
comics are servicing the movies and not vice
Mm-hmm.
versa, because Crypto is going to be in the Superman film, so hence
Mm-hmm.
they need a Crypto book to sell to comic fans who are supporting the film, and yet again, not vice versa. So
Of course. But nobody's going to go into a comic book store and pay $5 for a Crypto book who saw a movie.
exactly right,
I mean, that's a tough sell.
right,
You
yeah.
know,
Well,
what they should have done, what DC should have done is put a stupid triangle number on it, and then I'd have to buy it.
they got your hook, line, and sinker with a triangle, huh? Yeah,
Do
man.
it.
No, I
Yeah.
feel you. I feel you. Even though we're not done yet. So as the news progresses, crypto might sound like a very good alternative to some of the other books that are about to hit
Mm.
DC Comics this summer.
Okay.
This is also in the Superman movie vein, because this character will also be making an
Okay.
appearance in the new
Hmm.
Superman Legacy film. So of course she's gonna get her
Okay.
own book. It is Supergirl, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Supergirl,
Hmm.
now, interestingly enough, I can't really cite any long runs of the Supergirl book. I mean, I know Peter David did that book.
But that was a totally
It
different
was,
gimmick.
but how
Yeah.
long did those Supergirl runs last? 40 issues?
Pads was, I think, seven. Pad was
Oh, okay.
76
Thank you.
issues, I think.
76. See? I'm glad I got you here to
Yeah.
answer these, life altering questions.
I think it was
Okay.
76. Yeah.
Even then,
Maybe 80.
wasn't
Somewhere
it
up there.
Paul Kupperberg who had the book in the, was it 70s or there
Daring
we go.
Adventures. That that launched, I want to say 82, 83.
Okay.
And that one ran, I think, 21
All right.
issues. Not a whole lot. Not a whole long time. And it was really not very
Okay.
good.
Yeah, I mean, here we are yet again, Summer of Superman film stuff. A character
Hmm.
that's never really been able to. Well, I shouldn't say that, because 76 issues or whatever is nothing to sneeze at.
And also the when they brought back Kara Zor-El pre-Flashpoint, I think that run ran 60
Mm-hmm.
something issues. Because that one tied in with the triangle numbering for the Return of New Krypton, or the New Krypton
Okay.
arc. That would get a triangle number, and those were like in the issues like 40s and 50s. So I think before DC flushed the toilet in 2011, it was probably up to like 60 something or 70 something. Um, since the New 52, there's been a couple of shorter, relatively speaking, runs for Supergirl, but I have no problem with them launching a Supergirl book. I mean, Supergirl is a tenured character, deserves an ongoing if it's
Mm-hmm.
done well. That's another one like, hey, before you worry about a crypto book, make a decent Supergirl book.
Yeah.
I think she's a standard bearer of the line, so no problem with
Okay.
that one.
The creative, I was going to say team, it's one person behind the new Supergirl book, and it's a
Hmm.
creator by the name of Sophie Campbell. I can't say I'm very familiar with
No
her,
idea.
but
No
okay.
idea.
Well, the image I just had on the screen, she is the artist for it. So it seems like she has a very
Okay.
simplified, bare bones kind of artistic style, which, is good. Yet again, if the book
Mhm.
is written well, done well, it could all fit.
Sure. Do it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is this something that you be subscribing to? Okay, you're gonna
Probably
skip
not.
the new Supergirl book. Okay, that's
No,
coming out in May.
no. The only Supergirl that I glommed onto was the Peter David one, and that was so very un-Supergirl that it was almost silly that it was named that.
Right. Okay. So as far as DC goes, I have saved the worst for
Mhm.
last. And just so you know, you're a little
Okay,
choppy your video. So I believe it,
yours
okay,
is
your
too a
sound
little
is
bit.
coming through
Yeah.
fine, but I just don't want to lose you on this because
Okay.
yet again, this is the big one. Because you, my
All
friend,
right.
are clairvoyant. You see into the future. You have, yeah, exactly. You are able to do amazing things with your mental acuity. So,
Mm-hmm.
without further ado, we have wondered, and sometimes I obscure the lines if we have these in private conversations or on the Bada Bin show. So maybe we've discussed this on both.
Sure.
But just who would be taking the reins of Action Comics after Superman Superstars? And I do recall you bringing up a name in particular that when I
Hmm.
saw this announcement, it was like I just got punched in the stomach and I almost had to double over and gasp for air because who will be writing the new Action Comics as an ongoing creative? And that would be
Hmm.
Mr. Do you have a guess?
I know I guessed
You are
Wade.
correct, sir. That would be Mr.
Uh,
Mark Wade,
yeah. Yeah.
who will be taking over Action Comics this summer. Now,
Mhm.
his I was gonna say, I don't even know if he has to pitch anymore. They just say, Mark, what do you want to write? Here's your check.
What do you want?
Exactly. Have a
Yeah.
great day. He is bringing back Superboy. So Clark Kent as age 15-year-old teenage kid and his early
Hmm.
adventures in crime fighting and establishing himself. Now, I'm not sure anybody was anxious to have that as a concept in Action Comics.
No.
Um, Now the artist,
Is
yes,
this is this a like did they say this is going to run for X amount of issues, or is this just the direction going
is
forward?
as far as we know, this is just a direction going forward. We all know this can't last.
Okay.
This isn't
No, no,
sustainable
no,
as an
because
Action Comics
that's a tough
concept. Yeah,
sell.
it
That's
really
a tough
is.
sell.
And so the artist,
So we're back to Clark being
yeah,
Superboy
well,
again.
yes. So this is all prequel style
Okay.
stuff. Now, I just want to let you know this
Okay.
artist before I forget because do you remember the backup
Hmm.
that we both were just like totally irritated by? The
Yes.
artist for that,
Yes.
her name is Skylar Partridge. She will be the
Hmm.
artist, the ongoing artist for the foreseeable future as well.
Okay. I mean, the art was the least bad part
I
of that
did not
story.
care for that
So
art whatsoever, buddy.
I didn't like it either. It made Supergirl look very like she needed a shower.
Okay.
So it's like I she just looked gross. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, what are the stakes going to be?
Okay.
It's like the old Byrne question. It's like why is anybody going to invest any time in a Superboy story when we know he grows up to become
Correct.
Superman?
Right. That's
Oh no, Superboy might die. No, he's
right.
not.
Yep, this is true. And then, I mean, just the other thing is we've discussed many times here on air how Wade has just really, I mean, they've been letting him run the gamut on whatever he wants to do, and it just hasn't been good. You know,
No, no, it's been very indulgent.
it's been really, really
Yeah, it's
rough.
been very.
I
Yeah,
mean, how long?
yeah. I'm
What's
trying
that?
to. I'm trying to think of another writer to compare it to where it would probably it would be Byrne during the mid
Right.
2000s. Like Byrne was like chummy with DC again, and they're like, yeah, do whatever you want, and he turned in like just Byrne
Yeah.
stuff, and it just wasn't very good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that
You
whole
know,
thing that we had talked about with the Phantom storyline when they went weekly, and it just felt like it went on forever. Um,
yeah, it was what 12
12
parts.
parts. And you had said, like, could you
Yeah.
imagine if this was monthly and we had to do this for an entire year?
Oh,
Like, oh my God,
talking
forget
about it
about it.
next Christmas.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
just completely forget about it. So, I was
yeah.
listen, we've discussed writers that I just absolutely would not want on the book. So he's not in that tier, but The
Yeah,
reason why I even said to you, like, let's put some scotch tape on that discussion as far as like keeping an active streak of collecting. I mean, I
sure.
survived the Philip Kennedy Johnson era of Action Comics. This should
Hmm.
be a badge of honor.
Yeah.
I made it through that, and it was not good. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm at the point now, dude, where I am telling you, this is, guys, get ready, bomb drop. Woo! I'm gonna be canceling my sub to Action Comics. And you may say, Dave, you poser.
Oh.
Why would you do such a thing? You love Superman. Why would you want to get rid of his flagship book? I mean, the creative teams come and go, man. You've stuck with it before. You can stick with it again. Yes, I understand this
Hmm.
argument, but I feel that this is the kind of run that will be found in dollar bins for years to come.
Oh,
And so
easily,
for me to
easily.
fill in those holes, I know there will be a gap. I
Hmm.
understand that, and it's not going to feel good,
Hmm.
but I will be able to go back and acquire those issues at a later time for a much cheaper rate, even with my discount, my 35% discount.
For sure.
So, yeah, man, I think
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'm just going to pull the plug
Hmm.
on Action
Hmm.
Comics for this current iteration of it. And it sucks. It hurts. I'm not
Oh
happy
yeah.
about it, you
No,
know?
definitely. It's you're a stronger man than I.
Dude,
Um, for sure. I haven't enjoyed action since Jurgens left.
wow.
You know, that's what 2018.
It's been quite a while. You're
Because
right.
yeah, because Bendis made his first appearance in Action 1000, and that came out what March 20th of 2018 or whatever. It was the exact like 80-year anniversary of its first
Hmm.
issue. Um, and the Bendis run sucked. Did Bendis go right into Kennedy?
For Action Comics, I believe it was. I
Yeah.
believe it was, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Okay. So then the Kennedy one, the War World stuff didn't
Oh,
interest me enough to actually crack it. And then that I was collecting it, it was kind of like the Ram V
hmm,
Detective. It's like, oh, I'll get to this eventually. And then you look and it's like, this is 30 parts
dude.
long. You know, it's like there's no way I can get through this. And that's the way the War World stuff seemed. And then they were doing like tie-ins and like there was like the return, a lot of stuff. So I skipped that, and then they launched Superstars after that. Oh, they no, they did the anthology after that, where they made action an anthology again with Kennedy in like the main spot, but then just other random stuff for like 10 issues. Couldn't get
Hmm.
into that, and then the Superstars stuff has been spotty at best. So yeah, action's on for me personally, it's on a pretty bad run. Maybe Wade telling his usual sort of kind of out of continuity, maybe in the past, maybe not in the past, sort of
Uh,
stories. I don't know.
dude, I'm telling you, man.
I don't know.
You just nailed it with Wade too. With this, like, just you know, continuity could be anywhere.
Because that's the world's finest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're going to talk more about World's Finest later as well because I read the latest issue. I'm going to discuss
Okay.
it with you a wee
Cool.
bit.
Cool.
But just because I want to like keep this before I lose my train of thought on the whole thing
Sure. Sure.
is, you know, we're
Sure.
talking about Supergirl, right? And you're like, yeah, she deserves her own
Hmm.
title. I get that. Because honestly, at the out, you know, when we first started discussing this, I was almost going to dismiss her as a character who could, you know, carry her own book. That's why I
Hmm.
asked, you know, how long her runs have been. But that, you know
Sure.
what, if you
I mean, we're living in a world where Poison Ivy and Power
right,
Girl
yeah,
have
I
ongoings.
understand.
So
But
Supergirl
for
having
me,
one, yeah.
ideally, if you really want to make some changes to Action Comics, rather than have it be tales of 15-year-old
Hmm.
Clark Kent, you know, discovering himself and his
Hmm.
powers, make it into a family book, make it into a rotating cast and characters of the Soups
Hmm.
family
Oh yeah,
kind of book. You know what I mean? There'd be nothing wrong with that. That would be okay.
absolutely.
I would much prefer that.
No, it would just be hard to
Yeah, but
collect.
right now,
It would be hard to collect
yeah,
and
okay,
trade.
all right, I can see that.
Because of the anthology sort of story, like if they try to cram 3 or 4 stories in an issue and some of them are 8 pages, you can't make that
Yeah,
into a trade.
yeah, no,
So I think a lot of the eyes on the secondary, because they would never do like an Action Comics Weekly again, I don't think. They'll do their yearly anthologies that cost $15. They are.
Uh-huh.
So as much as I would dig a Superman family in an anthological sort of way, I just don't see it. I don't see them ever doing it.
Yeah. But I'm saying I would prefer it compared
Oh,
to
me too.
in a
Me too.
vacuum.
Oh, me too. Absolutely.
Compared to what Wade is about to give us. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that was ever discussed behind the scenes, but I think this is really a wasted opportunity, especially when we were just discussing, do you need a crypto book? No. Do you need this? No. But they're trying to tie into the
Hmm.
movie. They're trying to service comic fans
Yeah.
who are going to go to the film, enjoy the film. That's who they're selling it to. Because yet again, they're not selling it
Hmm.
to someone new. They're selling it to people like us,
Nope.
old school fans or
Yep.
whoever that are going to go see the movie and
Hmm.
want to, have as much of that as humanly possible, little pieces of it.
Hmm.
So by doing that with action, I feel like you just are really wasting an opportunity in that facet of everything. And with
Oh,
your
yeah.
readership,
Oh,
where you
yeah.
get a guy like me who's ready to say, "This is a dollar bin book. I know this for a fact."
Oh, it will be.
So
It will
even
be.
with my 35%
Unless
discount, why would
they,
I buy it now?
unless like Wade, he introduces a character we've never heard of before, and we'll never hear of again, but is vital to Superboy's story. It'll be um, it'll be the Spider Boy of Smallville or something.
Right? Yeah, maybe, man. It could be. I don't know. It's just I don't know. It hurt reading that this morning. I really did not feel good
Hmm.
about that. I mean, even the Batman number 1, it was kind of like, why are you guys bothering with the new number 1, man? But I mean, I'm kind of unfazed by it
Hmm.
because I'm not a regular
It
reader and
is what it
collector of
is.
Batman. Plus,
Yeah.
you've done this to us so many times before. You get conditioned for it. You know what I mean?
Mm. Oh,
But
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised it took him
yeah.
this long.
But then to have, Mark Wade and then again Skylar Partridge, who, she might be a terribly nice human being. I don't know this person personally. They might be
Mhm.
the nicest friggin' person in the world. Help old ladies across the street. Donate time and money to charity. I don't know. But the artwork for me, the talents are like, ho hum. Come on. DC could have done better with this. I
Yeah.
really think so. And I understand they don't make everything for me. I understand it's not my universe and you're
Mhm.
just living in it, but to some degree it is my wallet, my hard-earned money, and trust me, I earn it
Mhm.
hard. And
Well, sure.
dude, I just got that's the only way I can control anything is by shutting that wallet and saying no thank you, no, I'm all set.
Hmm.
So
I'm with you. It's weird because it's like 20, 30 years ago, this sort of announcement would be like a bigger
mhm.
deal because we wouldn't be getting these announcements weekly. I think back and tying into what I was saying, like who asked for this? I remember back in the day when they would announce new launches, they were received a lot more with a lot more patience,
Mhm.
I guess, because we got so few. It's like, oh, this summer, Generation X #1. It's like, oh my God, that's a big deal because it was the only thing. Whereas now, it's like new Batman #1, but that same week, there's probably going to be 3 or 4 other #1s on the shelves too.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go through the weekly releases for the big two. I would almost bet that there has not been a week in the past 10 years that doesn't have a #1 every week. It's just we don't. Who is it for? I don't
Well,
know.
another shocking revelation for you. I'm more inclined to buy
Mm.
crypto
Hmm.
#1, pre-order that, than I am
Hmm.
to get the Mark Waid Action Comics. So there you go.
I mean, that has a writer that you're interested in, and
A character I
I
can't
don't know.
stand,
And
but I do not like
that's
Super
true.
Pets one iota.
That's true.
I have rallied against them many times on this
Mm.
humble little program. It's such a silver agey thing.
Yeah, because I mean, you want to do a crypto thing, then you turn action into the family book. Do a crypto
Thank you.
story there. Crypto can last. Crypto can kind of be interesting for 4 pages, maybe not
Or
22.
one issue.
Over 5 issues, 100
One
pages.
issue.
Yeah,
There you go. Biggity
yeah,
bam, biggity boom. You know?
yeah. Don't think we need 100
Yeah,
pages of
I don't
crypto.
know.
And I'm sure it's going to be very lol random,
Maybe.
and there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of panels that are going to get tweeted or whatever. But
It's Blue
I don't
Sky
know.
now, bro.
Who's it for?
What's
What's it
that?
helping? What's
Oh,
it helping?
crypto? I don't know,
You know,
man.
it's not.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
really don't know. But Marvel, dude, will not be outdone because DC was dropping all these friggin'
Hmm.
nuggets of new issues, new books coming out, and Marvel was like, "Hold the phone,
Hmm.
slow down. We get something new coming out too, and I'm curious now what sound you'll
Hmm.
make for this because yet again, new number
Oh,
one,
hmm,
okay, but
of
there
course,
is
of
going to be
course.
a Captain America book with Chip Zdarsky as
Hmm.
the writer and Valerio
Hmm.
Sheedy, I probably mispronounced,
Oh,
Sheedy is
Sheedy.
going to be
Okay.
the artist.
I always said Sheedy because I didn't want to say
Okay,
it
we'll say
phonetically.
Ali Sheedy. Valerio Ali Sheedy and Chip Zdarsky will be doing a new Captain America book. What are your feelings on this? Because there was no
Hmm.
groan, there was no sigh. What do you got?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure for the past 10 or so years, there's been a new Captain America
Oh,
#1 every
yes, it
year,
feels that way, doesn't it?
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like it's chipping, no pun intended, it's not chipping away at me
Mm-hmm.
there. Um, Cap has gone from being a character I was interested in to not being interested in. So I don't, it doesn't harm me either way. Because, and I mean, I feel bad for anybody taking on a Captain America book because it will not last a year, or it will barely last a year, and then it'll be relaunched again with a new creative team. Another one, I don't know who it's helping. Um, like, what is Captain America on now? Volume 15?
I was going to say, I think like 12 or something.
Or do they keep putting colons after it? They put like Captain America, Sentinel of whatever, so like that's a different
It could
volume.
have
But
been, yeah, because I think that was the last one I bought was Sentinel
yeah,
of Liberty, the most recent one that is. Yeah,
yeah.
so I
Mhm.
don't know, but will you be checking it out?
And was that the JMS or was that the
Oh, I'm sorry.
JMS or the
That
other
no, you're
one?
right. Because the regular Captain America was JMS. I did because I
Uh-huh.
bid on that one purely because the artist
For the artist.
Jesus
Yeah.
says. But before that was Sentinel of Liberty. So I did jump on Captain America after that. But it was just
Hmm.
I found it terribly boring, and so I had to cut it from the list. So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember I tried Sentinel, the Lansing and
Mm-hmm.
Kelly one, right? That was them. And it was like the stupidest thing that talked me out of continuing with it. In the first issue, Cap was mystified by an iPad. And I'm like, what? He's like, how does this a tablet? What is this? It's like, you're an Avenger, you asshole. You've never seen a tablet? I know you're a man at a time, but you didn't just
Well,
unthaw it yesterday.
technology. What can I say?
Come on.
Yeah, it befuddles
Yeah,
the
it's
seniors.
like, oh,
Cap still has a phone with the big
that's
buttons
silly.
on it. Cap still has he's got a life alert.
He's got
Yeah,
consumer
exactly. You
cellular.
know what I mean? So
Yeah. He's got Ted Danson's
indeed he
consumer
does.
cellular.
So
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? But that one thing just threw you off. And to be honest with you, that book too,
Hmm.
the Sentinel of Liberty, for like a certain amount of time was like, hey man, this
Hmm.
isn't half bad. And then boom. I think
Hmm.
what's been getting me with a lot of modern books is the bait and switch,
Hmm.
where
Okay. Oh yeah, like we talked about with
yeah,
Green Lantern.
exactly. Where it's like, hey, here's what we're doing. We're going to be establishing the status quo, which is going to be very old school, very grounded,
Hmm.
back to
Sure.
basics. And then you're like, great, man, because that's what you really want. Some solid stories that take place that are around the foundation of a character. That's all you really need, right? But then
Sure.
3, 4 issues
Absolutely.
in, that's when you get like we got to put our stamp on this. We're either retconning this or changing that or trying to like stir the
Hmm.
pot a little bit to make it our own as creatives. Put our
Yeah.
our influence on the history of this character, and you're like, well, hold on. Or
Sure.
you brought up Green Lantern. That was like, hey, it's an Earth-based book. Three issues later, oh, we're not in space.
Hmm.
Hey, here are all the Green Lanterns. Hey, here's a Spectrum, and you're like, oh, dude, slow
Hmm.
down. At least take me out to dinner first.
And here's 4 crossovers
Yeah,
we're tying
take
into.
it easy here. Calm down. And it
Yeah.
seems like to be the common trend though. It's like we're gonna lure you in by
Hmm.
stating that this book
Oh
is
yeah.
exactly what you want, back to basics, and then boom,
Hmm.
it's gonna be spaghetti against the wall for a little bit. So, but by then we got you, baby, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like it doesn't do. I'll ask it again. Who does it help? Because you have a writer who starts with an established character, like we said, doing the things they think they should do. Then they do their little twist on it. And then Marvel announces, hey, in 6 months, new number one. So then it's in lame duck territory. So they can't even do anything or flesh out their idea. So everything is truncated. So even if it was the greatest idea in the world, it's going to come off as half-assed. And it's just not going to. Yeah, it was like the old Fantastic Four thing from like the mid 2000s to just when Dan Slott came on. Every single run, every volume of that would be the exact same. It would start with the team breaking up. Then they'd spend 12 issues realizing that they need each other as a family. Then they'd get back together. Then they'd get canceled. And then the next volume would start with them breaking up. And then spending issues finding themselves and realizing they need each other, getting back together, and get canceled again. It's everything. It's either build or lame duck. That's all these short volumes. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Well, and hey, to be honest with you, I'm okay with like changing things up. Just come with that out of the gate. You know what I mean? As a reader, as a purchaser, someone who spends his money on these things, let me know what I'm getting. At least the premise, right? You pitch this to DC. You pitch this to Marvel. You know what I mean? Give me like.
Unless you're Mark Waid.
Mark Waid just walks on in. He just slams his hand down on the table. He's like, "I want Action Comics." They're like, "Yours, Mark. All you, baby." But yeah, you know, like.
I want a Rack Son of Thunder. We don't make that anymore.
You get it. Whatever you want. But I mean, like, they pitch this, and I can't imagine every pitch meeting goes like, okay, so here's what we're going to do. Remember how, Spider-Man was based in New York City, and, he's like a young guy, a teenager who's got real problems, everything. Okay, great. That's how we started. Those are the origins of the character, right? Superhero with problems. That's what you're rolling with? Okay. And then 4 issues later, he's cosmic. And he's the multiverse and this and that and everything. It's like, calm down, slow down. Give us a nice hearty slice of the pie before you slam the damn thing on the floor and say, now, it's just the Wild West. And it's the weirdest analogy I've probably ever said in my life. But you know what? It just came out of my mouth and I'm sticking with it. Pie on the floor. Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? I think the powers that be are very unhappy that we're discussing this kind of stuff because your camera keeps getting big and small and big again, and I've had to readjust it like 100 times during this conversation about these announcements from Comics Pro.
I'm in the cosmic cube here.
You are, but I think what I want to know is, let's recap real quick. Batman, you're buying it,
of course.
Supergirl, no. Crypto, no. Action Comics, yes.
Yeah.
But Captain America, where are you at with this?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
You do have a...
Is there any sort of blurb on what it's going to be?
I don't know if I saw anything. I don't have any further details really to give you without kind of me just talking out of my keys.
And our friend Bill Beer is all in on tap, so he will.
It must be Zdarsky, right? Is that what it is, Bill? Is it because Zdarsky's a writer? What was?
Well, he says he loves he loves him some chips.
Okay,
so yes.
There we go. Good enough reason to buy a book. Absolutely. There you go. And actually, that's the reason why I was curious if you were going to kind of go in on it too, because you have a little soft spot for Mr. Zdarsky as well. So maybe you'd be willing to bite it, even though yet again it'll be over in 12 issues and you're starting fresh in a year from now.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, I really haven't cared for Cap in a long time. I when they tried to make him serious, it took a lot away, because it was like he was a Marvel movie before there were Marvel movies. It's like they took away all like the really cool stuff, and it's like, well, here's a room full of here's a darkened room full of monitors, and it's Captain America. Great. Okay, but then it's like forever that. I don't know. Hey
man.
I think the last time I liked that was maybe Jurgens, for all I can remember.
Jurgens was last on Cap. Well, geez. How long was that? Turn of the century or something? Yeah,
turn of the century.
Louise, holy moly.
It was before 9/11, I think.
You're going way back for that Cap.
Yeah, because they canceled it after 9/11, and they gave it to like John Nay Reber. and I think they put it under the Marvel Knights banner. I think he was a guy from Books of Magic from Vertigo, but that was not so great. Our friend Jesse DeYoung says he's going to pick it up too because it ships Oscar. Bill says the first Cap story under Chip is going to be a flashback just after he comes out of the ice.
Now we get the sound effects. You see? There we are. That's what we were waiting for.
How many times? How many times?
I know. I don't know.
Do we need to see the spider bite the damn hand every time?
I don't know, man.
It's
Bill, is this confirmed, or are you just making this up to drive Chris crazy? That's what I want to know.
I'm sure it's confirmed because I mean that's just what modern comics are. Are they doing another Captain America movie that we need this?
No, there was just a Captain America movie that came out this week. So there you go, biggity bam, biggity boom. But it's the Falcon as Captain America.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So there you are, face to face, a couple of silver spoons.
Jesse says he's yes. Jesse says he's going to buy it for the creative team, not the character.
Okay. Well, see, that's the thing, though.
Who's the artist again? Oh, that's
Ali Sheedy. So.
Yeah, I like Sheedy from back in the X-Labs days.
How many times have we pined on this very program for great books, for those,
Cornerstone characters?
Thank you. I was trying to think of the right structure. My brain was like, wait, what is it? What is it? Is it a beam? Is it a 2x4? What is it going to get my stud finder? Yes, our cornerstone characters.
Bill says that story is somewhere. Yes.
Okay. Coming to you here from Bill Beer, breaking news. There we go. If I had a news flash sound, yeah, I would play it. But these cornerstone characters, man, how we're just dying for like a good, solid run in these characters again. For me personally, I think Captain America is up there. It's
oh yeah, for sure.
And like Jesse's like, I'm there for the creative team, not the character. Luckily, I'm not that much of a diehard Captain America fan, but to be honest with you, if there was going to be a creative team that really, kind of struck my fancy a little bit,
jazzed you,
jazz me up a little bit. I would jump on it in hopes that we'd be finally getting something consistent and good, with Cap. So I don't know, man. Yeah, wait and see.
Yeah, not like I just go back to like Heroes Return, in '98, where they brought back all the characters and they were like great stories. Everything was magic. I mean, we had a chili dog on Iron Man and Avengers, and they were great.
Yeah.
We had I think it was Lobdell and Claremont on Fantastic Four, and that was good. And Cap had Wade. Our friend Mark Wade was on that, and that was excellent. And it actually felt like it was a very humble time in comics, but it felt like they actually cared about telling good stories and not necessarily the cash in, just let's build something.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, just the business just ain't like that anymore.
Well, the other thing too is, we've discussed before how everything's essentially a mini until it's not.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Until it's
not. So that's also disappointing too, because that's something I would love to see. I'd love to see another 150 run, issue run on something. Yet again, cornerstone character. Just ain't happening, bro. Not again. You know?
I mean, because like you didn't care for Immortal Hulk.
Oh no, right? Gosh, no.
But that actually did. It followed all your commandments. It came out the bat telling you exactly what it was going to be. It wasn't trying to be something it wasn't, and it ran for a long time. It ran 50 or 60 issues, right?
I believe you're correct.
So I mean, that's 4.5, 5 years. That's pretty good.
Yeah, unfortunately, it followed my commandments. It just wasn't for me.
Sure. There you go. Yeah. But I mean, if it was for you, you'd have had it for a long time. They actually followed through with it, which is something that just doesn't happen very often anymore. I'm looking at I looked at Marvel previews for some reason, and I was flipping through it, and like all the X-Men books, like in the final battle. And it's like, well, is this book ending? Well, it doesn't say final issue, but in final battle for a couple of books. I'm like, okay, so what's happening? We don't know. It's just like, I got to wait until next month just to see if it's solicited. It just happens so often. And these are all ongoings, of course. So I don't know. It'd be nice to get a nice dedicated, because even the last X-Men run with Hickman at the helm, he was like barely there. It's like he was the plot master and he wrote some, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like his vision throughout. Where I don't know. I feel like that hurts families of books. It hurts books singular for sure, and it makes it harder to look back fondly or derisively at anything. It's just kind of, oh, this is just what comics are now. I don't know.
Indeed, that's where we're at. We're like, we don't know. I don't know. Well, the
That's it.
jury's out. We're gonna wait to see what happens. And unfortunately, there's only be a couple
Mm-hmm.
books that you're gonna be buying. I will be
Mm-hmm.
dropping Action Comics.
Mm-hmm.
God, that sucks.
And I'll tell you how great it is every month.
Yeah, dude. By the time you read it, I'll be like 6 years behind. You kidding me? Um,
That's true. That's true.
but I mean, again, I am 100% confident that these will be found on the cheap later, and then I'll fill in the holes. So, and that's a big deal too. And what I was trying to say, earlier, where it's like there's a certain satisfaction to looking at your CLZ or your
Mm-hmm.
spreadsheet, and you see this just continued
Mm-hmm.
streak of books that you've collected,
Oh, the
the
uninterrupted
uninterrupted
run.
run. There's just like
Yeah.
a nice little satisfaction to that, and that's going to
Mm-hmm.
be gone. So thanks, Mark Wade.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because my action run is like almost at 700 issues straight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know that there's a creator they could bring on that would make me stop it. Because it's like, I have them going back to like the late 60s, early 70s, maybe. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's just the price point. I mean, if it was like a $2 book and Mark Wade's on it with Skylar
Mm,
Partridge, okay, whatever.
sure.
But that's the other thing
But it's still a
is
fiver.
it's a $5 book. You know what I mean? So and my discount is still like
Yeah.
$3.24,
Three and
and I'm like,
change. Yeah.
$1, three dollars
Yeah.
and 24 cents. Let's just do the math. I'm not a smart guy. I'm not the brightest crayon in the box, but I can always just grab them later
But
and
the
be fine.
but fair warning, your dollar bin finds are probably going to be variant covers.
Whatever. Dude, I'm just so uninterested in what he's coming up with for this action run. I don't even care as long as it's gonna keep the streak
Because
alive. I don't care.
that's actually stopped me from dropping books lately, which is probably part of the plan. I
Seriously?
remember,
Wow.
yeah, because like I remember dropping Astonishing X-Men
Mm-hmm.
because it just turned to absolute crap. And I just knew that it's like, okay, it's July. I know that the comic store down the block has a dollar book sale, Black Friday.
Sure.
So it's like, okay, I'll pick up all 5 or 6 issues I missed for $5 or $6. You know, nowadays I can't do that because it's like I might find the issue, but it's going to have the Peach Momoko cover. It's good. It'll be an issue of Marvel Man with Rogue eating an apple on the cover for some reason, and no
Yeah.
title. It's like, again, who's asking for that? Who is it helping?
I don't know, man. But that's the thing. Like, you can only assume that there is somebody wanting that textless cover with Rogue eating an
I
apple.
don't think so.
Or
I don't. I would have to meet that person and like actually like touch them
okay, physically.
before I believe that they're
If
real.
you are that
Yes,
person,
I'd touch their
please
shoulder.
contact us,
Yes.
badabinshow@gmail.com. Let us know.
Just so I can tap your
So
shoulder.
Chris can
Yeah.
just reach out and touch somebody and realize that the
Mm.
variants exist because you want them. Because of
you.
you ruined everything. It's all your fault, whoever you are,
Killed it.
unknown emailer as of
Killed
yet.
it.
Do you want to change gears?
Yes.
Sorry, but
Sure.
we're going to talk about some more modern books to start because I did some reads this week. The modern
Cool.
stuff I'm just going to kind of go through real quick here because it's not something I dedicated a bunch of
Mhm.
time to, but it's worthy, for Bada Bin purposes, if you will.
Sure.
So let's discuss what Dave dug this week. Um,
Cool.
This one's actually going to appeal to Mr. Bill Beer, and I know this thanks to the Blue Sky social media network, because I believe he had made a comment about this on there. Well, I need to adjust you yet again because I notice you're for some reason. I guess we just can't talk ill of Mark Wade. Otherwise, your face just keeps going in all kinds of weird, random directions, and it ain't so great. I know it
Crazy.
is crazy. But that is, I'm sorry for the distraction, Absolute Batman issue Cinco, number 5. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Absolute Batman is, I believe, yes, it is the only Batman book that I'm currently subbed to. Time will tell come September. I did sub to
Mm-hmm.
the Hush 2 stuff just for nostalgia's sake, but that yet again hasn't come
Sure,
in yet.
sure.
My thoughts on this are I've really enjoyed this. I've mentioned that I think it's the best Absolute book currently going for the ones that I've read.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Sure.
Something I really appreciate about this book in particular is the paneling, the artwork going on here. You get a real big sense of
Mm-hmm.
action with the unconventional formatting that Nick Dragotta uses.
Gotcha.
Another thing, he's very
Mm-hmm.
subtle with some flashback stuff. Wherein the previous issue we'd had,
You couldn't tell. Yeah, you couldn't tell where you
you
were.
couldn't,
It was a little bit
and
jarring.
it was
Yeah.
Gabrielle Walta, who's the artist, who's an artist I particularly enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
but it was still a little odd. Here, there is artistic, subtle notes that are different, where you almost think it's like a colored pencil or a
Okay.
different tool being used to illustrate the book, but not so much where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, this is definitely a flashback scene, but aha, that's a nice little touch to note that it is a flashback.
Subtle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. So I really enjoyed this issue. I thought it was very good. Um, so yeah, absolute Batman. I mean, all the kids are crazy for it. Hula hoops, Nintendo games, absolute universe.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I to deny it? You know what I mean? I'm just
Mm-hmm.
some schmuck on YouTube just talking about comics, man. Um,
True
True
that.
that. Now here's a book that we've talked about quite a bit in the past. We actually, I was the Aquaman Namor comparisons and stuff like that. Namor number 7. This
Mm-hmm.
is penultimate. Next issue is going to be the end of this yarn, and gotta say it's still great because it's Conan underwater, and Jason Aaron.
There you go. Hey, and you know
What?
what? I think I just got there's someone ringing my doorbell. My shipment might
Go
be here
check
right
it out
now.
while I talk about Namor. Yeah.
Yes, do Namor, and I'll be
Okay.
right
Great.
back.
Gives me an opportunity to go full screen here. Hopefully, it won't screw up Christopher's screen when he comes back. But alas, we're not talking about Mark Wade right now, so the Mark Wade police aren't screwing up his visage. But yeah, Namor, as I was just mentioning, is something I've talked about in the past. I called it high fantasy in the seven seas, which is true, and that's something Jason Aaron does very well, which is fantasy storylines. I enjoyed his Conan stuff, so kind of Namor being in that vein really works for me, and I'm kind of sad now to see it go after next issue. Um, Absolute Universe, as mentioned, hula hoops, Nintendo games, being hip, cool guy, trendy. I mean, you just take one look at me, and the first thing you think of is this guy. He's in the know as far as style, fashion, food, travel, and of course, comic books. Absolute Superman number 4. This came out, I believe, a couple weeks ago, but I just read it this week because I'm a lazy bones. Sorry, guys. And it was okay. I still stand with Batman being a better book. This is also Jason Aaron penned. It's solid. It didn't knock my socks off or anything. It really kept going with the establishment of the fact that he is the working man's hero, which is cool because, it goes back to the origins of the main timeline Superman. You know what I mean? Our universe is Superman. Yes, our universe, because I live in the same universe as Superman. As a matter of fact, I'm off to my job at the Daily Planet momentarily when me and Chris are done recording. I am a janitor there, just if you were wondering. I don't have any official position of note. But Chris is back. Was it your comics that arrived?
I am. No, no, it was a computer. I'm starting a new gig next week. So my rig.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
there's that.
All right. Well,
Fingers crossed,
well,
coming
well.
soon.
You'll,
I know our man Shane is out right now with my
yes.
back.
Good old Shane. Old
Listen.
reliable Shane. I was just saying, just so you catch you up, because I know
Hmm,
you're dying for my reviews
sure,
on these books. You know what I mean?
I am. I
Absolute
am.
Superman.
Jesse DeYoung
Oh,
actually says here he's been collecting Namor, but has yet to read any of it.
well, you know what you should do? Post haste, read it right away, because I do recommend this book wholeheartedly. I am enjoying it thoroughly, and for the reasons that I just stated, because it is a fantasy book
Hmm.
starring Namor. Um,
The more the
There we go.
submariner.
Submariner. Uh,
That's what I used to call him as a
yeah.
kid. I was even dumber than I am
Oh,
now.
come on now. You're only a fraction of the dumb that you were then. I did bring up,
That's
Chris, real
true.
quick,
That's true.
Absolute Superman #4, which I thought was good. Solid book. Yet again,
Mhm.
Jason Aaron. I didn't do that on purpose.
Terrible cover.
Huh? You
Terrible
don't like
cover.
this red cover where he's getting shot at by all the
No,
lasers?
you know, like when you see a cover and you know it'll be in the dollar bin?
This is the one for you, huh?
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be in the dollar bin.
Well, the fact I went back to back with Jason Aaron books talking about Namor and then Absolute Superman was purely by coincidence, but I guess it worked out for the benefit of our viewing audience. Um, here's
Cool.
one I don't know if you were interested in. I know we talked about it a little bit. This one is really a nostalgia
Hmm.
play to Z Max, and that is Weapon X-Men #1, where we get Joe
Okay.
Casey and Chris Cross here on
Hmm.
this book. Now, some of you might remember Chris Cross from Captain Marvel, Genusville, with Peter David, and that's where
Hmm.
my love affair. Do I get to say his name like that again? I think that's probably a stupid gimmick, huh? I'll say Chris Cross instead of Chris Cross. But
Hmm.
anyway, so I was kind of happy to see.
And I'm proud of you for not saying makes you jump.
Hey,
So,
you know what? My pants are on backwards right now.
mind you.
Yeah, see, we're in the same boat, baby.
Daddy
Daddy Mac
Mac.
gonna make you Weapon X-Men. So anyway, here's the deal. I just mentioned nostalgia play. It does that very, very well.
Hmm.
There is some humor in
Okay.
here. I think Joe Casey kind of it could have been delicate as far as the title of the book and his claims to being the
Hmm.
creator of that title, even though it was used for another run. And Deadpool was that
Like last year, there was a Weapon X-Men.
okay? Well, Joe
Had
Casey's
nothing to do with it. It was like Chris. It was a Christos Gage
yeah.
thing. It had nothing to do with anything. But there was a Weapon
Yeah,
X-Men
well,
last
Joe
year.
Casey's like, hey man, that was my concept. You guys ran with it without me. Not cool. So that's kind of a funny little thing.
He was probably wearing his sunglasses. You couldn't tell.
Joe Casey, like, dude, I'm telling you, man.
Commit to
When
the
he was a
bit.
kid and he heard that song, "I wear my sunglasses at night," he was like, "That's the lifestyle I want to live, and I'm never leaving it."
That's
You know what I
it.
mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
It's gonna probably freak out the embalmer at the when he dies at the mortuary or whatever. They're gonna be like, "Hey, what's up with this corpse? We can't take the sunglasses off, sir. That's Joe Casey. It's in the will." But anyway, I've lost my train of thought. You threw me off. Thanks, Chris. Thanks a lot.
Sorry.
Deadpool breaking the
That's what I
fourth
do.
wall here. You get some of that good stuff. Less sniffing from Wolverine. Now, if you remember any of my
Okay.
Wolverine reviews from the most recent run of the book, I mentioned
Hmm.
he's a sniffaholic, very
Fetishy.
fetishy. He
Yeah.
can't stop sniffing everything and being like, "Ooh, blood. Ooh, rust. Ooh, balloon animals. Whatever." He's just sniffing it all out. None of
Hmm.
that's happening here. Yeah.
Quicksand. Mm.
So then you got the ensemble cast. It does have the One World Under Doom banner here, which is kind of, I think it's kind
Okay.
of hurtful to a new book to be like, hey, this is #1 and it's a tie-in to an event you may not give a friggin' damn about. But alas, there
Hmm.
is some, I don't know. I'm trying to stay spoiler free here, ladies and gentlemen. There is some Doom references in here, but I don't know if it's even worthy of giving it that whole banner on the top. I'd rather like have an
I
ad
don't
for
know.
Columbia bicycles. You could win 2,500 or something. That might have been
Hmm.
better.
Yeah, the Toys R Us gift
Exactly.
certificate. Yeah, the Toys R Us
But
shopping
overall,
spree.
man,
Yeah.
I enjoyed this book because I accepted what it was
Hmm.
before I went into it. You know what I mean? I think if anybody was
Hmm.
looking for like serious, I don't know, more. How would I put this delicately? Okay, you're in this for a good time. You're not in this for like die-hard continuity or anything like that. Even
Sure.
though I'm going to tell you something.
No, this is a romp.
This is a romp.
Yeah.
Thank you, a romp. I found it interesting that they did mention, okay, this happened in Wolverine #6. So editor's
Hmm.
note is tying into the other Wolverine run, and someone's paying attention. Someone's at
People read both.
dude,
Wow.
like for real? That's crazy. Like I can't believe
Wow.
that. Nowadays, you know, connecting books together seems like a
Hmm.
fairly alien concept. So yes, color
Absolutely.
me impressed, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah,
And Jesse is happy that Chamber is in
he
that book.
is. I said there's an ensemble cast. I didn't mention who they were. We got Cable.
Hmm.
We got Wolverine, Thunderbird. Did I say Chamber already? Because he just mentioned Chamber, Deadpool, yada yada
Hmm.
yada. So anyway, there we are. So if you want a romp
There you
starring
go.
mutants, popcorn kind of.
That's what a 5 issue,
Yeah.
I
So there
think.
you go. I just call it a popcorn book because it's like a summer movie. You just go to have fun. Just don't think too hard
Mm-hmm.
about it, because otherwise your mind will in fact melt into the floor, and that brings down property
It's
values.
true.
So as far as the new stuff here, because I do have some back issues I want to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
Last and
Okay.
definitely least, and dude, this is painful, man, because we've talked about how much respect we have for the man's talents, how much he's contributed to comics, and how he knows
Mm-hmm.
more about comics than we ever will combined. But that is Mark Waid's World's Finest,
Mm-hmm.
and this is issue number, see, I already forgot, number 36. Now, this, you would think, would be so far up my alley, I might need to see a
Mm-hmm.
proctologist to get it removed. Because you got Swamp Thing on the
Mm-hmm.
cover, you have the Floronic Man, Woodrew. Hey, man, I'm hungry for Swamp Thing stuff all the time, every day,
Sure.
24/7. Dude, it sucked. It sucked. And this ties into the previous issue we had talked about with the whole Aquaman, the war in Atlantis. Why does
Sure.
Superman, why does Batman even need to be involved in this? Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and dude, this was just a painful, painful read that makes me wonder, why am I
Mm-hmm.
still buying this book? Aha! I know why. I'm going to tell you why. When my discount is $2.59, and God, look, it's
Mm-hmm.
36 issues in. I just want to keep it going, and it's
Golly.
cheap enough.
Mm-hmm.
So okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Action Comics, man, just ADC. If you drop the book down, so I get it for $2.59 with my 35% discount,
Yeah.
maybe I'd stick around. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is.
You think we'll ever get a since everything's going up to $5 now across the board, both companies? Do you think DC would do a draw the line at 3.99 like they
Two
did
ninety
with
nine, right?
2.99 all
I don't
those years
know.
ago?
I think the draw the line
No.
gimmick is has been done. It's over. I don't know, man.
Hmm.
I don't know. Great question. I don't have a good answer. I just stare into the camera blankly and just go, huh? Da-da.
I do love that cover though. I like how the callback to the old Swamp Thing, the color on the
Yeah,
top, the color
this
bar
would
on the
be like
top.
awesome for Halloween
That's
too,
great.
man. Like Dan Mora,
Hmm.
I mean, just drew a great cover here. He does not do the interiors,
Yeah.
and the issue is
Hmm.
painfully boring. Doesn't make a whole ton of sense, and here we are yet again wondering. We got that loose
Where
continuity.
it was. Yeah.
The continuity in Mark Waid's books are like your bowels after eating too many sloppy joes. It's just all over the place. It's hard to define. It's
Everywhere's.
everywhere. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So you gave me Swamp Thing, great. You gave me some Floronic Man, great. But everything else in there was just cheese balls to the point where it hurt my feelings. So there we are with that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, those are my most recent reads of newer material. Would you like to dive into a couple
Yeesh.
back issues that I decided to check out?
Sure.
And I'm sorry, this
Let's
might
do
go a
it.
little bit longer than I anticipated, so apologies in
No
advance.
worries.
I was hangry, Davy Hungy for a little
Hmm.
Ed McGuinness in my life, and I ended up picking up this book for $1. This is also
Hmm.
Jason Aaron, and it's a run that we talked about where we're kind of like, and that's the Avengers number 32.
Hmm.
Here we go. Namor is on the cover of this, and let me tell you,
Hmm.
Namor Mini compared to Namor story in this Avengers number 32, worlds different. I mean, just dude, I'm serious. Like, this was not a good issue at all.
That was a bad
This is
run. Oh.
Mephisto doing what Mephisto does behind the scenes, manipulating everybody to make
Hmm.
his means achievable. And Ed
Hmm.
McGuinness, man, here's something I'd like to bring up real quick, is that talking about
Sure.
Chris Cross from our
Hmm.
from our youth 20 25 years ago, how we really enjoyed his art, and Ed
Yep.
McGuinness now is someone who we just love to death on Superman, how their
Yeah.
artistic talents and styles have changed a little bit over the years. I don't want to call them softer, but they're
Hmm.
definitely, or even say they've matured, but they definitely tried some new techniques where you
Okay.
wouldn't be able to put, for example, Ed McGuinness Superman next to Ed McGuinness Avengers and be like, dude, totally. It's the same thing. It's the same stylistic choices here. It's
Yeah,
not. It's a little different. Not to say it's
sure,
bad. It is artistically very, very good. Um, just
sure.
unfortunately, I went to get a little Ed McGuinness fix from a dollar issue, from a run and
Mm,
story that was just very eh, you know.
yeah, that
It
was a
was a
toughie.
toughie, but I read
Yeah,
it nonetheless because that's what I do. You know what I mean? I press on, baby.
there you go.
Um, push,
Push,
push.
push.
In the all right, enough about that. This one, and I feel like I'm gonna be like negative Nelly right now, and I'm sorry, but we just talked about Jonah
Hmm.
Hex not having his own book. Well, Jonah Hex did have a hearty run
Yep.
here, and right here we got Jonah Hex number 59. Had to remind myself there from
Hmm.
1982. And I'm gonna go full screen, dude, real quick because I love this cover. And you were talking about that World's
Hmm.
Finest cover having that kind of classic vibe and feel to it that is appealing.
Yeah.
Dude,
Hmm.
what is not to love about this Jonah Hex cover? This is from 1982. And he is just
Hmm.
swooping down, picking up his dame with the yellow background. And
Hmm.
it just, for me, it's extremely striking.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
so for cover alone, just like, yeah, take my money, yo. But story wise
Hmm.
inside, this is leading off to a longer story arc. So as far as the contents, Mr. Fleischer, who is the Jonah Hex aficionado, Mr. Jonah Hex himself, as
Hmm.
far as the writing duties, it was just very plain, to be nice. It
Okay.
was nothing really happens in here of note that makes you go, yeah, this feels like a quintessential Jonah Hex kind of yarn that I must read.
Hmm.
So yeah, I remember in the past, was it Chris Yu who asked me for like the definitive Jonah Hex story? I
Yeah.
can tell you right now with
Hmm.
100% absolute certainty, this
Not
is
that
not
one.
it. Sorry, but the cover is fantastic. So
Oh, it's good.
that's
Yeah.
where we're at with that. Now this is where I'm going to get a little verbose and lengthy because I picked up this trade
Hmm.
quite a long time ago, and this is the Tombstone trade that collects a big chunk of the Spectacular Spider-Man era from the late '80s. Now, if you remember, late '80s Spider-Man, '88, '89 is immensely popular because of ASM
Yep.
with Michelini and McFarlane. But dude, like
Hmm.
Jerry Conway and Sal Buscema really had a hell of a run here with Spectacular.
It was spectacular, right?
And
Yeah.
the impetus, the reason why I decided to dig into this trade again is because on Disney Plus, yes, I know it is other form of media, but to get my son interested in comics, characters rather, not comics themselves, but characters,
Hmm.
I generally have to do it with cartoons or movies. I had mentioned in the past, like we watch X Men '97 together. X Men '97 is something I don't have any emotional connection to because I was already like an adult when that was coming out back in like '92. You know, I'm a teenager,
Hmm.
man. Shouldn't say adult. I was a teenager, but still, I was doing adult like stuff because I'm super cool. You know. So
Hmm.
now on Disney Plus, there's a show called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and let me tell you, I am so impressed with this show. I loved it, and it was a really nice bonding experience between me and my 12-year-old, being able to watch this show every Wednesday. Now, where does this come in, or how does this tie into Spectacular Spider-Man? Okay, well, Tombstone is one of the key characters on this show. At least Lonnie Lincoln, pre albino gangster glory, and
Hmm.
so yeah, so that kind of played the inspiration for me wanting to read more of this era, which I also yet again remember very fondly, by Jerry Conway and Sal Buscema. Now, you know, reading back on some of the stuff from the late '80s or prior to that, dude, I just said earlier, like I hate Silver Age, like hero animals. I hate it. So a
Sure.
lot of these things can, in fact, feel dated and kind of can be a little bit difficult to read. You know what I mean? This is not
Hmm.
like Jerry Conway, man. Like
Hmm.
I'm not super familiar with a lot of his early Amazing Spider-Man stuff because listen, his bona fides are like seriously legit, going back to his start
Hmm.
in the industry to, I mean, co-creator of the Punisher, Death of Gwen Stacy, on and on and on. but I'm still not. I can't say I ever dug into like his '70s material, and I'm super aware of it.
Sure.
But let me tell you, my friend, as far as this late '88, '89 stuff, dude, the guy.
Your
Oh,
brother is
good. I'm glad
waving.
he's waving. Hello. Here's a full screen shot of Tombstone just for you. But dude, like, I swear to God, like the narratives, everything that's playing out, the plot, the pacing, everything has been fantastic. Some of the themes are still applicable to this day. It was just firing on all cylinders, and I think that run
Hmm.
is always overshadowed yet again by what was happening over in Amazing Spider-Man, and that's a shame
Hmm.
because this stuff was just
Oh yeah.
really, really good material. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm halfway through it now. It's become like an every night read for me. So it's
Hmm.
kind of like before bed comfort food, just going back and reading this run
Gotcha.
of Spectacular Spider-Man. So I highly recommend it, picking them up because the other thing too is now I am of course talking about the trade, but if you went to the cheapo
Hmm.
bins and stuff, it's not like they're really impossible to find for
Oh, Spectacular is easy to
yeah, for
find.
a
Yeah.
decent price as well. I'm actually going to show something on screen now that you're going to see in a second. But this is one of the panels
Hmm.
from one of the issues here in Spectacular, and we had talked about this creator maybe last episode or the episode before. So of course, when I see a little
Hmm.
connection to Chris Claremont in Spectacular Spider-Man, I had to take a groovy shot with my phone and share it with my buddy Chris. So let me know when that pops up for you. Uh,
I have a Pazing and
Well,
Hay
guess
right
what? The
now.
hay is going to turn into hey-yo. There we go,
There you go.
baby. There you go. He's no Stephen King, this Chris
There
Claremont.
he is.
But let me tell you, he's pretty groovy. He's all right. And plus, dude, Sal?
Hmm.
Oh my God, man. This guy artistically is just lights out. I mean, are you a Sal
Hmm.
Buscema fan? Do you like him?
I don't
Don't
dislike
start
him.
like that. I'm just talking about how great he is, and you're like telling me he's not the best thing since
I
sliced
mean,
bread.
he's basically, he's one of those that you can boil down to, and they're the components of comic book art. I mean, I just don't know that it's terribly, well, spectacular,
Oh,
but it's really good.
pun intended. Well, listen, as far as you.
Mhm. No, I mean, he ain't below the
Oh,
Milgram line or anywhere
sweet
near
baby
it.
Jesus, no. But I mean, as far as your exposure to him, is there any like runs of his in the past that you were like, I liked it a lot, or I didn't like it,
I
or what have you?
I liked it in particular during the death of Harry Osborn
Ah,
later on in Spectacular.
yes,
I think that was written by
correct.
DeMatteis, and there was some very haunting scenes that were like unironically scary of like Harry just like hovering in the goblin costume outside a window, and it's like very very
Hmm.
striking. And that was Sal. So good
Hey,
stuff.
you know what? That's another interesting point that we were kind of rallying against modern comics not so long ago, or we do every week. It feels like, but look, there's a title right where you've had various writers come and go, but Sal was still the artist on the book. You know what I mean? Can you
Hmm.
imagine nowadays? Like, hey, we're gonna switch one creative, but not the other. Um,
Oh
no,
yeah, it
you
doesn't
have to do
happen.
it as like a combo package. You know what I mean? So it's definitely
Hmm.
a different animal entirely.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah.
man, I would definitely recommend when you start seeing these in your hunts on your dives, pick an issue or two up, man. Especially if it's Conway and Sal, and let me know what you think about it because I'd be very interested. Because yet again, I think it'd be to be honest with you, Jerry Conway's writing on this stuff could in fact serve as a master class to young aspiring writers on how to keep a story upbeat, paced just right, and
Hmm.
you're staying true to the character and what he's all about, yet you're also kind of weaving some other minor little plot threads that will, in fact, pan out and pan out in a big way down the road. So, really good stuff, man. Very happy with this. So, thank you to your friendly
Sure.
neighborhood Spider Man who made me go, you know what? It's time I just dusted off that trade and gave it another look. And here we are. So, yes.
There you
There
go.
we go. So, yeah. And as far as Dave's reads this week, that is the extent of what my eyes were capable of handling without drying out and turning into little prunes inside my skull.
Hmm.
So
Beautiful,
yes.
beautiful,
Now I
beautiful.
am aware, though, Chris, if you're prepared to do so, you also did some reading of your own this week. This
I
wasn't a
did.
one-way street.
I did.
You were actually, you know what? Before you get into that, real curious, when you
Hmm.
read,
Sure.
where do you prefer to read? Where
Hmm.
did you have a spot that you prefer?
Um, I usually just read on the couch.
Okay,
I used to read in bed, but my eyes are not great anymore. So it's like it's really hard to do.
okay,
I need like a lot of light.
all right. So it's a light
Because
situation for you.
yeah, yeah, I'd love to read in bed again, but I just can't.
What if I buy you a
Yeah,
lamp?
I would need like a well, I would need like a floodlight on the page. It's bad.
Okay. See, I can't
Yeah,
read in my
no bueno.
living room on my couch because my dog would assault me.
Hmm.
I'd have to call nine one
Hmm.
one,
Hmm.
and this paperwork
There you
involved with
go.
that, everything else. That ain't great. So
Yeah, no, too much
yeah,
bureaucracy.
exactly, exactly. So I primarily read in bed because I'm a big fat lazy schlub, and it's fantastic. Sometimes I'll have a little bag of candy. I'm like, ooh, look at me, and I'm reading my book,
Hmm.
dude. It's great. It makes me feel like 12 years old again. It's wonderful. I truly
Hmm.
enjoy it. So I recommend it for you. Get off the couch, get a floodlight, little candy,
Need a flood.
and
Yeah.
read away.
As when I with the blogging, I used to read in bed like the night before I'd write a
Mm-hmm.
post. The same with like X Lapsed and stuff. I would read the issue in bed before I would read it again in the morning, but then I would script that. So
Yeah.
it was part of the ritual, but it's unfortunate that I just can't see anymore.
The only thing you read in bed now is
No
trouble.
bueno.
You know,
Yeah, yeah,
little
yeah,
softcore Aunt
yeah.
May.
For the articles, for the
Little
articles.
softcore Aunt May to get you through the day. You're only human.
Yeah. Flesh and
That's a lot
blood,
of paperwork too. So
flesh and blood.
anyway, I'm sorry. Your reads. Let's get into your reads for the week. Please take it away, Chris.
Yes, I actually don't have the books with me, but I did read the entire. I have other books with me.
Okay.
Um, the entire run of the Lansing Kelly Outsiders that came out probably got it probably started early last year. It ran 11 issues, and the thing that struck me about that. Well, I'm an Outsiders completionist. I own every single issue of the
Right
Outsiders,
on.
so it's another one that was like when I saw it, I was like, crap, I got to buy it. It wasn't even like I wonder what that's going to be. It's just like oh man, if I don't buy it, I'm not going to have it. So I started buying it, and then the covers were just really very interesting. Um, like the whole premise is that they were exploring things. This is post Dark Crisis, so they were like exploring like the places between pages in the multiverse, which was an interesting sort of conceit to me. And with like I think it was the fifth or sixth issue, the cover was just like it was like part finished art, part sketch. Just very striking. I wish I had it with me. I put it away, but it has like Batgirl, Batwoman, Luke Fox, and this character from the Wildstorm universe that they called Drummer, and like they were acting very very suburban. I think like Batwoman was like mowing her lawn. Fox was the mailman, like walking by the front of the house, and it was done in this very odd sort of style, and it was like that looks very interesting. Um, Collected it, kind of had it set aside, never thought to read it, and then I decided to read it, and it was pretty good. It does a lot of exploration outside the fringes of the panels, um, which is a good thing and a bad thing because I think it was a little too impressed with itself, which meta stories tend to be. It was largely focused on the Wildstorm property Planetary. Like this drummer character was a character from the Wildstorm universe who was stronger than reboots, basically. So like they have her in a meeting with like a what is it, Elijah Snow or whatever the hell his name is, the white-haired guy from Planetary, and a couple other characters. They're sitting around like a table talking about the cosmic level things. And then all of a sudden everything goes white because it was Flashpoint. and everything was being wiped out. So then this one character who would be known as Drummer later on survives it and winds up in the New 52 universe. So like you see like the Superman without the trunks. You see Cyborg as part of the JLA. You see them fighting Darkseid like in the first arc of Justice League from the New 52. And then it happens again and it's Rebirth, and then like you go to her library and like on her shelves there's like actually books that say 52, Flashpoint, Convergence, and like all these books are there. So it kind of gets a little up its own ass at that point, where like we know, the argument that we got when the New 52 was launched, and anybody who had anything negative to say about it, we were man babies, entitled, all that kind of shit. And it was like well, nobody's taking those stories from you, they're still on your shelf. It's like, oh, you want Grant Morrison's Animal Man, it's right there, nobody's taking it from you. What are you whining about? It's still there. It leaned into that a little hard, where like it almost like I felt like they were going to subvert it at first, because someone actually said those stories are still on your shelf, and this Drummer was just like, no, don't give me that shit, I don't want to hear that. I don't know if it's a spoiler to say the drummer lady is the villain overall, and I don't know if it's an indictment on fandom, because like they actually refer to, they're like, well, the Wednesday Warriors who don't like the narrative, and it's like, are you shitting me? We're the people buying these things. You're calling us out? I mean, it got into what I would call baby's first Grant Morrison territory.
Okay.
Where like Grant would write a story that was meta as hell, but it would have heart. And it wouldn't be like trying to like shove anything down anybody's throat or rile anybody. It's just like, this is an interesting tack to take. In Animal Man, you had the psycho pirate who remembered the crisis, was the only person who remembered it and went insane because of it. And it's like, he's in Arkham talking about worlds live, worlds die. And it's like, this feels like we shouldn't be able to read this. Whereas now it's been done to death and it lacks any heart. They actually wrap up the Outsider story on a almost redeeming bit, where Drummer is like missing her friends from the Planetary book. And then she goes over to her bookshelf, pulls off an issue of a book of Planetary, opens it up, and it's comics. And she's like, oh, there you are. And it's like, okay, I get what you're going for. But like a little too pleased with itself.
Huh.
Don't know. So I kind of I started it thinking it was like a lot of very fun stuff, but then it just kind of got high off its own supply. In that one issue I told you about with the weird cover with like where it's like halfway in pencil art, halfway in full art, they go to this town that's in between the pages, and like Cave Carson's sitting there, and he's like, he turns to them and he goes, was it a cancellation or a crisis? I'm like, okay, that's cute. It's like, because all these characters who don't have homes anymore are just in this weird little town.
Okay.
And he's like, is it a cancellation or crisis? I'm like, okay. That's actually the panel I saw as I was flipping through it. And I'm like, okay, I need to read this whole thing because it just seemed interesting. And it was, to an extent. But, it ended with like a Care Bear stare.
No, not the Care Bear stare.
It was the Care Bear stare, and then the... and it felt like it was trying to lead into a new Authority volume, which I don't know if it'll happen. I don't know if maybe it already happened.
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
So.
But, no, I don't know. But, I don't know. It was okay. It just felt very much like baby's first Grant Morrison without any of the heart.
Okay, so it's missing a vital organ.
Because it could have been. It was, because like, I know you haven't read much Morrison, but like that Animal Man run is very, very meta. Like he literally goes to limbo, and like all the characters that were X'd out in Crisis are there. And it's like Angel Love is there somehow. I think Wendy and Willie from the Silver Age are there. It's like the Inferior Five. It's weird stuff. But that was like 1989. We hadn't done that yet. Whereas now, like these little nudges to our rib cages is just like, hey, you get that reference? Yeah, Cave Carson.
That was
That's
cute.
him, Cave
Yeah.
Carson. It's like, well, Cave Carson had two series not too long ago. It's not that deep a cut, you know.
I don't know
I don't know,
either. It was
but it was
okay. Wasn't great.
it was okay.
Like you said, it gets a little too cutesy.
Yeah,
Whatever. It's
yeah.
funny to me. You bring up Planetary because with Grant Morrison, Warren Ellis. I remember.
Hmm.
I feel like we get a nickel every time we say turn of the
Hmm.
century. But remember, like the Wizards top
Yeah.
10, hot writers, hot whatever.
Oh
It felt
yeah.
like there was like a European invasion with the Morrison, Ellis,
Hmm.
and Millar.
Miller.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed, and that being like the hot
Hmm.
writers at the time. So yeah.
Yeah. And Ennis was there. He's Irish, I think, but
Oh
Ennis was in
yes.
there all the time. It
Mm-hmm.
was all that
Correct. Yep.
that
Indeed.
crew. Yeah. Milligan. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know. The Century stuff. Um, like it got real old real quick. You know. Like what was that? What's so funny about Truth, Justice, and the American Way? That issue of Action, 775, where they bring in the elite, and it's this kind of, I don't want to say satirical, but it was a navel gazing kind of look at what's going on in the industry and how Superman can remain relevant in the shadow of all this widescreen, super legit, whatever the hell. And it's, I don't know if it's intentional, but then like you would look at the racks back then, and like every other book would have like this official sounding title, like that would be named like after some sort of agency. And it's like, we don't need all of them to be that way.
Yes, we do.
You know, we had Authority, Planetary, we had the agency. It's like, come
That's
on.
Paul
Now.
Jenkins, the agency, right? So there you go, another
Yeah,
European guy. I
yeah.
believe he's British, right?
Another
Yeah.
Brit or Western European of some sort, yes.
Now, real quick, this is
Yeah.
how the sausage is made. You were so
Mhm.
herky jerky your camera. So I've been looking
Uh-huh.
because I do have the TV screen playing our stream in the corner, and I am fluid as
Uh-huh.
water, bro. But you are like, just it's like stop motion. So
I
I'm
am,
wondering if
yeah.
it's because
I've
I'm
entered
wondering
the
if it's 'cause
fifth
I have like
dimension.
two Skype screens open here on the bottom, and I'm worried that if I close one, it'll
Hmm.
disconnect us. But
It will. Yeah, because one is like the little mini thing and the other is
yeah, but I,
something.
I almost
Yeah.
think like we should restart Skype to see if you're still gonna be, you know, herky jerky, or if it's gonna be, more fluid like moi. You know what I mean? I don't know. Or
I
should we
don't
just keep
know.
going? I
Don't
have no
know.
idea. I mean,
How do we do that? Do I like I don't want to cut the
oh no,
stream
no, no.
off.
I would keep the stream going. I would just have to.
Okay,
I
so
would
should
just
I
have to
hang
call
up and
you
call you?
back, and I guess our audience would see in real time
Oh,
how
okay.
we manage to do these
Let's
things.
give it a shot.
Okay, well, I'm going to close these screens.
Let's give it a shot.
Okay, and I will entertain the audience until I call you back. Okay, and then the other side, get your
Cool.
ephemera ready because that's what we're going to talk about. Back
I have
issues,
back
ephemera,
issues
we get
too.
it all. So make sure you have it ready at your desk.
Hmm.
Okay, I will call you back in like 39 seconds. Audience, are you ready for
Dig it.
this? Let's do this. Okay, I'm closing little screens. Let's see, is Chris still here or is he gone? Chris, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, you're still there. I haven't hung up on you yet. All
Yeah.
right, I'm going to do that right now. I'm sorry, and I'll call you back in 29 seconds. Okay.
Hmm.
All right, so you're still there. You haven't gone anywhere.
Still
And
here.
I just closed Skype.
Mm.
This is amazing. You're still connected.
Am I still herky
I haven't
jerky?
looked yet. I'm too busy typing things away over here. So let me see. I can't do anything right. I am just, dude, the worst. All right, so let me end call. Let's try this. This is enthralling live stream stuff. Okay, I'm going to end it. Ending call. Oh, Chris, are you still there? Nope, now we've officially lost Chris, ladies and gentlemen. Now I've done it. As you can see on the screen, it is merely a large blue box that says Skype in it. We are not sponsored by Skype. There is no corporate plugs here. This is just a tool that we use to communicate. So please use any other form video calling software that you like. We are not endorsing one which way or the other. But now we're going to reconnect with Chris. We're going to try it right now. Let's see if he answers. Does he answer? Chris, are you there, my friend? You have answered. Okay,
I'm
wonderful. Here. I was worried you were going to say, you know what? Screw this. I want nothing to do with this guy. He just hung up on me. The show's over.
What a jerk.
Yeah. I know. Bada bin is over forever.
This marriage is over.
It is nullified. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see how herky-jerky you might be. Well, we're going to continue now.
Okay.
No matter what, we're pushing through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, in that 17 seconds that we were disconnected, did you have a chance to prepare your materials?
Oh, yeah, it's right here next to me.
All right. What would you like to go into first? Your back issues for the week or ephemera for the week?
Whichever works. What do you think?
Dealer's choice, my friend.
Okay.
You tell me what floats your boat while I mess around over here.
Back issues, I guess.
Sounds good.
And I'm looking all right on the thing? Or?
So far. I mean, your screen, again, is like the Mark Wade police is still messing around with us a little bit, but alas, nothing I can't fix.
Cool.
So let's keep rocking and rolling, baby.
Now, before I go into the back issues here, something I found on the counter at the place I bought the back issues at was warning that this is coming.
Old Man Con.
Oh. Coming back April 27. So I will hopefully go there.
Okay.
And I look on the back here. It says the largest comic book convention in the Southwest.
Okay.
So just to because I mean the legit con we have here.
Yes.
They don't even call it Comic-Con anymore. I think that's more because of like legal stuff from San Diego. But I was at that con a few times, and they should have never called it Comic-Con because it really wasn't.
Okay.
Now it's called Fan Fusion, which...
Well, hey, real quick, since it is Old Man Con, does that mean it's held at like McDonald's at 5:45 a.m. while the discounted coffee is still hot and fresh?
If only. If only. No, it's at a hotel in Scottsdale, Arizona. Oh. So, yeah.
Okay, groovy.
It's going to be a good time. The last time I went last November, was it? Or last May?
You did, yeah. I don't remember exactly when it is you did go, but I do recall you did in fact go. It's not like you're lying to us.
Yeah.
Even though no matter how many times I say it, you never do it. But anytime you're out hunting, I'm like, take photos. We can put it on the show.
I know, I should.
You're on vacation? Take some pictures. Take some videos so I can put it on the show. And you never, ever follow through with that. Please, Old Man Con, April 27th. Here's what I'm doing. I'm putting a notice, a bulletin out to anybody in Arizona. Take photos of Chris for Chris because he won't take them himself. Okay?
Let's see here. Go to their website here to see if there's anything announced. Because last time in November, Kevin Eastman showed up.
Okay.
Which I'm guessing it would have been very, very expensive to get him to sign anything. But yeah, nothing yet for who might be there this time. But
dude,
I will keep you all updated.
You are there. This is all that matters.
Chris of the Bada bin will be there.
Indeed. Yes. Right. So, and yet again, the thing still stands. This urging I'm putting out there to anybody in Arizona. If you're at Old Man Con and you see Chris, please take pictures of Chris, send them to badabinshow@gmail.com, and we will, in fact, put them on this program for everybody to view and enjoy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, now while I was at that shop getting that postcard, I went into the 50-cent bins.
What you got, baby?
Yeah, it's and I haven't been in the bins in a while, so let's go through what we got here. I run hot and cold with the Avengers. Like I said, the last time I really cared for it, Chili Dog was involved. But when I see an old issue, I have my list of books I need, and I found this one in the 50-cent bin. Thought it was pretty cool. It's Beast was on the team at this point, so it's nice to have. Haven't read it yet. I haven't read it. I read a few of these, not many though. Another one here. They had a bunch of Eclipso annuals.
Oh, nice.
So I grabbed that.
Who's the artist on that? It looks like Sam Keith or something.
That was Sam Keith.
Yeah. Okay. Groovy. Yeah, I got it. I'm a smart guy.
Yeah, it was Keith.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was weird because like it was like a stack like this thick of Eclipso books. I'm like, I could fill in all the ones I need. And then I'm going through and I'm like, Oh, I don't know how I have most of them, but I do. So I was missing the Batman ones, so I grabbed those.
Groovy.
Legends of the Dark Knight is something that Legends of the Dark Knight and Shadow of the Bat are books that I kind of ruined for myself in that I like can't bring myself to pay folding money for either. You know, I think I've just undervalued them because I see them so often in the cheap bins. It reminds me of my hunt for Dazzler back in the day, where like I'd find Dazzler issues in the 50-cent bin, and it's like I got to the point where I only needed like 3 or 4 issues, and it's like I can't bring myself to actually go into the bins and pay folding money for an issue of Dazzler. And I'm having the same problem with Shadow and Legends.
Yeah, but
Another one
2/4 is perfectly acceptable, so that's why you bid, right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. Another Eclipso annual here, Deathstroke. And this one's interesting because like the Eclipso annuals have a spine.
Uh-huh.
They have a spine and they're $2.50. This one doesn't have a spine and it's $3.50. Weird.
Yeah, very weird. What happened there?
Yeah. Don't know.
Tell you
Don't
what,
know.
if I had a spine, I'd probably walk into my boss's office tomorrow and tell him I quit. But I am a jellyfish.
Another Eclipso here, the tech side here, another Sam Keith cover. Really gets you thinking that there's going to be some spectacular or at least moody art on the inside, and it's service. I mean, it's an annual, so you don't really.
Yeah.
Those are just filler anyway. I fell below the Milgram line.
No! Don't say it. Hey,
Fantastic
now,
5,
dude. You know what? This is a hot topic debate, and I do in fact need people to weigh in via the chat or email, because the penciler for that cover is Paul Ryan, correct?
It is. It is.
And you're stating that Paul Ryan is below the Milgram line.
No, he is being dragged.
Dragged.
Kicking and screaming.
Well, how is this happening? What's happening? Why is he being dragged? What's the problem? The embellishments?
It just looks very loose.
Hold on. Let me put you full screen again.
Yeah, it looks very loose. It looks very aged. Like this is a turn of the century book. It does not look like a turn of the century book.
Dude, I have a tough time seeing he's.
It almost looks like Mary Worth or something.
Oh, dang!
You know. Yeah.
You know what? The ghost of Paul Ryan is going to haunt you tonight.
Perhaps.
You're going to be visited by 3 ghosts. Yes.
Is Milgram still around?
I don't know, but he's going to haunt you anyway because he's got nothing better to do.
There you go. Another one here that I always fill holes in Fantastic Four, and found a issue, was it 181? So
did you sniff it yet?
Not the popular Marvel 181, but yeah, of course.
Okay. I bet you that smells fantastic. Oh
yeah,
boy,
for sure.
yes. I'm like Wolverine. Sure. I got a sniff fetish too for some old newsprint, baby.
I think my FF run is complete back to around issue 200 at this point, so working back from there. Another one that I always grab when I see it in the bins, MCP, Marvel Comics Presents, which is flip book.
Okay. Is that Sam Keith yet again? So we have the Sam Keith hour.
This one? This is Steve
the
Lytle.
other side.
Oh, the other side
sir.
is it is.
Here we go. The Sam Keith Power Hour. What do you think of Sam Keith's art, since we're on the topic?
I think I lump him in with like Kelly Jones, where
boom.
like I like it if it works. Yeah.
I couldn't even make a noble sound effect with my face because I couldn't agree with you more. I was like, bing.
Yeah.
Pause. Boom. Kelly Jones. Perfect comp.
Now here's one that I double dipped on because the copy of this issue I had was, it's partially a white cover, and we've talked about what happens with white covers. When you find them in the bins, they look really bad, or they're just more susceptible to showing their damage in their wear. So I found this one for 50 cents, and it's my man, Vartox the Valerian here, Power Girl number 7, volume 2. So one that I found in another cheapo bin back when I was doing Vartox Week 100 years ago. And it was like rolled spine. Yeah. It was like all brown here because it was folded over. And so it's nice to have a nice clean copy of it. And paying 50 cents for it is pretty good as
Well, with
well.
loins like Vartox, it's almost impossible to find a nice, clean copy of that. I mean,
It's
a lot of
true.
people probably
It's
abuse the
true.
living dickens out of it. You know?
And I mean, you can get you pregnant. It's just a
Exactly.
mess.
You're reading that one in bed, ain't you?
Yes. Now, this is one that I found that the cover is a little worse for wear, but I thought it was such a cool cover, I couldn't leave it there. And it's Superboy, where Superboy is responsible for the death of Clark Kent.
And if that was Joe Casey, he would have sunglasses on in the coffin.
No, but Clark is buried with his
Yeah,
glasses
see?
on, which that's kind of
It's,
unfortunate. I don't know that I'd want to be buried with my specs on. Who knows?
you know what? I think I would. I really do.
I
I
wonder.
think, the final goodbye to someone
Mhm.
like myself, you might as well get me in all my honesty and glory of how I lived.
And if they bury you outside, like if the casket's open outside, your transitions will turn dark.
This great point.
There
Exactly.
you go. We could Joe Casey it up.
I really want to be stuffed. So I don't think this is like a non-topic for me. If my family follows through with my wishes and has me brought to the taxidermist.
You're going to be stuffed and mounted, or just stuffed?
Well, good question. That's really something.
Like, you want your head on the wall, or
Oh, no. Okay, all right.
full body?
Full body. Yeah, I want full body, sitting in a chair, just like
Mhm.
like that.
There you
And then
go.
people could, but I still want to like have like some articulation, like an action
Sure.
figure, my joints move and stuff, so you can kind of pose me or put me
You can still be
somewhere.
part of Christmas pictures, and yeah,
Exactly. Thank you. You get it.
there you go.
You
I do
get
get
it.
it.
Yeah.
I do get it.
Yeah.
Now this was like the big find for me at this shop, and I did pay about $3 for
Oh
it.
wow.
But it's something I've never seen before, and may never see again. It is the Batman OnStar issue.
Yes. Oh yes. You had texted me
Yeah.
this. Indeed.
It's very odd. It's only like 3 or 4 pages long, but I'd never seen it before. I guess this was an auto show exclusive.
Mhm.
So and you found out that there's a second issue.
Correct.
Of this.
There is. So there was 2 issues of
Yeah.
that. And are we considering this a comic or ephemera now?
Well, I mean, it is sequential
It
art.
is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it does have a way to procure some ephemera inside.
Oh, nice.
If we can go back to the year 2000 or so. Like, you can get all this OnStar Batman swag
Oh
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
You
talking
get
about,
the- you
baby.
get the nice little pen, the nice jacket. Stuff on the inside here. You can get cheap water bottles and all good stuff.
Wait, a water
Flashlight.
bottle? See, I
Yeah.
want the shirt. I want the polo.
Yeah, definitely
The polo would be nice because, how often do I want to represent my fandom, but I also want to be like, cool dad. So the
Mhm.
polo
Yeah,
helps me achieve
What
that.
the hell's an OnStar? Is OnStar even still a thing?
I don't
anymore?
know if OnStar is still a thing. So OnStar, as far as I remember it from back in the day, it was like the easy way to say it would be like, oh, it's like GPS, but it's not
Or
necessarily.
like AAA.
Yeah, but
Like,
you'd
you
have
can,
like someone
call for help.
exactly. You'd have like an agent that you'd be able to reach through the little
button.
on your console. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can see how that'd be applicable to like Batman as having one of Batman's gadgets
Mhm.
would be like having your OnStar agent. So yeah, great tie-in there, DC.
Yeah. And OnStar is in fact still a thing.
Oh, it is. Okay, good.
It is.
See, I'm glad you're
It
doing the
is.
research
And
in real
You can
time.
get yourself a trial. Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Let's see here. What is a compare pricing on OnStar? Is anybody interested in how much OnStar might cost you?
I would think it'd be ridiculously cheap nowadays, considering that everybody already has yet again GPSs or AAA.
Okay, so the price guide is right. For premium OnStar,
Oh, don't do this to me! Don't do this to me. Is this really a question?
what do you think you'd pay for a month of premium OnStar?
Hold on, I need a theme song first. 1 month. What's my buffer?
Oh, you're breaking up on me.
Oh, I'm sorry, because I was just playing some jams.
Oh,
That's why I
there
was
you go.
going.
Let me tell you what it comes with.
Okay.
Automatic crash response,
Ooh.
emergency services,
Oh.
stolen vehicle assistance, roadside assistance, OnStar Guardian app, remote vehicle access, unlimited in-vehicle data, which is, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And in-vehicle apps,
$199 a month.
$52.99.
Oh, look at that! It's a steal. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Plus
Yeah,
applicable taxes and fees.
you could get preferred for $31.99. That is their cheapest one. And that comes with just the crash response, emergency services, stolen vehicle, roadside, and OnStar Guardian.
Yes. Well, when you had sent me that via text message that you had acquired this OnStar issue,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking into it a little bit, and there were some serious commercials involved.
Mm-hmm.
There's even someone playing the Joker, so there's a Joker in these commercials, the Riddler, and it led me to think like, it's its own universe, the OnStar universe, like Absolute. It's I think you even called it the Dark
The
OnStar.
Dark OnStar universe. Yeah, that's going to be the next event we make.
Yeah, exactly. So I think anybody, an writer out there who wants to get cute and go on Wikipedia and look up the OnStar Batman stuff. And
Where's Steve Orlando?
Where is he? Where are you, Orlando? Where are you?
You got a wiki randomizer this.
Exactly. And then we'll have OnStar Superman, OnStar Aquaman, and
oh man, could you imagine?
everything's going to have its own little, part of the OnStar universe before we know it. And you had paid how much for this issue? I'm sorry, was it 50 cents?
$3.
Oh, $3. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. You said for some reason you're so stingy when it comes to so much stuff. You're a cheapo human being. Yet this stupid 4-page book.
Yeah, I just never seen it before.
You just had to have it. Yeah. You needed it.
Had to have
your
it.
life, yeah. All right. So as you were,
our friend Chris Hughes says if they buried Clark with his glasses off, everyone would know he's Superman.
This is true. Oh,
great point.
Oh,
great point.
Dang. That didn't even occur to me.
My hat is off to you. My glasses are off to you. Yes.
Don't leave them on. Leave them on.
Speaking of glasses here.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like to pick out of the cheapo bins are these silly negative ones, the -1 books.
Oh yeah, those are great. Sure.
Yeah, I mean the stories were mostly terrible.
Well,
but
the Hulk one I thought was fantastic.
Huh?
The Hulk one I thought was fantastic.
Well, I mean that was like the only one that actually meant a damn. That actually played into everything going on. That was good.
Yeah, that was really good.
But the rest of them were just very kind of a little too kitschy, I guess. But I like having the ones that I don't have. So I found this one 50 cents. Grab it.
Okay. Now, what condition is that book in? Does it have any spine ticks or folds or bends on it?
No.
You're looking
really
very good, very deep. Okay.
Really good
50
shape.
cents, man, can't be beat with a stick. And I know because I got a lot of sticks and I hit a lot of people with them. So I'm a pro.
Here's another thing. I actually did a little bit of reading here.
Okay.
And of all things, I was reading Showcase 93.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I think I've seen that issue on every one of my bin dives for the last 15 years.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I mean, because Showcase ran from 93 to 96. And they all have like this, it just says Showcase 93, 4, 5, 6. And all the covers are very interchangeable because it really doesn't tell you anything about what's going on inside. It just really spotlights the characters. So, I see those constantly. I just never, I didn't put the effort into tracking them all down. And with all the changes at the blog, I got like the wild hair to like do some sort of writing again. And then I did the Action Comics Weekly anthology. It's like, oh, maybe I could do the Showcase anthology. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But this one opens with a Catwoman story, which is okay. I guess the first year of Showcase, the 93 year, they wanted to make it where there'd be a full-length Bat family story to kick it off. And it's funny the way they write it here. I just want to get the actual terminology that they use here. That whoever the editor is on this. Let's see. Yes, here we are. The Dark Knight himself will appear in some of these stories in events that are linked to the ongoing continuity of Batman, Detective, and Shadow of the Bat. How many Batman books come out a week now?
I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. Not
and
enough.
How many of them follow the same sort of continuity?
Not enough. That's my answer to all of it. Just not enough.
But I love that they're adding. It's like, oh, here's a Catwoman story, but it's actually going along with everything that's going on in the Bat universe right now.
You know what? If you watch this back ever, you actually, when you open the book, you had your hand like very tenderly upon your breast. Like you were
Did I?
taking this in such a, yeah, you were like, man, I'm really having a moment here when you opened that
I,
book.
I,
Yeah,
it, it got
it
to me.
did. I can feel it.
It got to me, man. I see Blue Devil and Cyborg. It's all good. But but yeah, I got the first issue, the second issue, the third issue, and finally the 12th issue because I had all the rest. It's weird. Like I every time I'd see those in the bins, I'd leave them because I'm like, that's way too many books to try to find. You know, like we talk about the uncanny valley of collecting. We've talked about that before, where like say you want to pick up all the triangle number issues of Superman, and you go to the cheapo bin and you start going through, and all of a sudden you have a pile that's like a foot and a half tall, and you're like, God, even at $1 a piece, this is going to be expensive and ridiculous. So you put all of them back. It's like I can't even do this right now. But then you get to the point where it's like all the ones you find are really sweet because you don't find them too often. And then you get out at the other end where it's like you're never going to find them because you only need like a handful. That's how this showcase thing started for me, where it's like I'd see so many of them. It's like, I want to check this out. And I'd have this huge pile, and it's like, okay, put them back. Don't. Yeah, that's too many for right now. I guess over the years I've been picking them up piecemeal because like I'm looking and I'm going through my spreadsheet. I'm like, I wonder how many of these I need. It's like, oh, these are the only ones I need. Okay, and so I picked them up. I don't know, weird
Hey,
collectors sort of
that's what
stuff.
it's all about, baby. I'm telling you right now. I mean, how many times have I agonized over like, dude, do I really want to spend $20 on this issue from 1974? And
Sure,
then I'm
sure.
like, I'm too lazy to cook. Hey, Little Caesars, how are you? Here's $20 for a pizza. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
Like, dude, I don't know, man. I just love tangible things, and I've said how I've gotten in trouble with my wife before
sure, sure.
by bringing this up. I'm like, this lovely, delicious, succulent meal that we're about to enjoy. Boy, a couple more of these, I could afford a Swamp Thing number 37. Pow! I may as well build a doghouse and go live in it, man. Like,
There
for
you go.
real. Yeah, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, just weird collecting habits. I'm sure. You know what? Chris Yu, who
Hmm.
is viewing right now, thankfully, he's an ally of our show. He is the unofficial third member of this program.
Hmm.
Once, I don't know if it was this email or previous email, asked us if we were going to do anything for our 1 year anniversary.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe we should just like treat it like a confessional and just talk about all the weird crap we
I
do as
wonder.
collectors and just make it like 3 hours of us just bearing our souls to the world about just because I'm telling you, we do some freaky ass stuff,
We
you
do.
know. But
We
anyway,
do indeed.
ephemera. Do you have any more ephemera? Because I do have the logo on the screen. We're anticipating more random pickups by you, Chris.
I do. I do. I'm actually going back to our first episode here just
Mm.
to see the date on it.
Okay,
May 6th.
we're almost there.
So
Look at
yeah,
that,
we're two and a half months.
dude.
Golly.
All we have to do is kind of remember when
Wow.
like Free Comic Book Day happens, and we know,
Because it was right then.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's our
Yeah.
anniversaries.
Now this is a. I went to another shop the other day,
Uh,
and I went to the shop specifically because I knew that they had fanzines. And it was another one of those things where, because the fanzines they're ancient, so they're not 50 cents. I did get a few of them for 50 cents a while ago because they were like in not so great condition. But these are like $3 or $4 each, and it's like there's like 70 of them in there, and it's like if I can't have all of them, I don't want any of them, you know. So it's like, all right, but I went and I was like, I wanted a fix of some fanzine goodness here, so stopped in. I think these were like $3 or $4 each, but the Comic Reader
hello.
is 1979. It's older than I am, and it's got a lot of it's got it, I mean it's made with love, you can
Oh
tell.
yeah,
You know, it's
it's got a
very
smoker's lung.
very.
That thing. Look at that.
Oh yeah,
Holy
probably
moly.
probably, and it
Yeah.
smells great
Oh
too.
yeah. Smells like a
Um,
pack of cools.
yeah, but you get like the previews for stuff. You get reviews. It's just very interesting to see how little things change in almost 50
Okay,
years.
do tell.
I mean, they're like I said earlier on in the show here. The question of who is this for and who's asking for this. They were asking it back in 1979 when Marvel would release another book. It's like, who's asking for this? Who wants this? it's insane how little things change, and how the professionals were always a little adversarial with the Wednesday Warriors or whatever day Warriors they were back in the long ago. But I guess we just didn't have too much of as close a connection to them. But it's just interesting to see a lot of that stuff. Chris Hughes says he would watch that. I'm guessing he's talking about the confessional.
Yes, the 1 year anniversary. We just lay our souls bare on the internet for everybody to see. Yes.
Absolutely. And this is something I sent you when I was going through these the other day. 1979 long boxes.
Yes. Very interesting. This really piqued my interest quite a bit.
Yeah, and we were talking about like how it's such a like dyed in the industry bit, you know, it's part of the collector culture at this point. I mean, I have complete walls made of this crap. And it's like it's where what we do. And it's weird to see that almost 50 years ago, the earliest boxes were being a thing here. And we talked about how little history on comic supplies there are.
Right.
There is out there.
Yeah.
How few articles. When it's perhaps not as sexy as having Batman punch Guy Gardner in the face, but it's interesting to those of us who are into the history of the industry of the fandom, the industry of the collector culture. It's really cool that these ads exist. And I went even further. It's great here. I mean, if you buy 5 of them, they're $2.50 each. So relatively speaking, the price hasn't really gone up that much. I mean, it's 50 years ago. You could buy a sample box for $3.50 if you don't want the bundle. Insane. But as I went through here, I got another one from 1982. This is the landmark issue 200 of the Comic Reader. And then I got October 1982, number 205. And this might be the one. There it is, where I found an ad for Bill Cole Enterprises here. To see that there. This is Comic Supplies. And it's a place in Massachusetts that still exists today. So it's like I have a wild hair to reach out to these people and see if they know any of their own history. If whoever's working there, it's like, hey, I mean, this is 1982. This company started making the acid-free everything. Made to order bags. It's like, we'll make you a bag, whatever size you need it. You know, a Mylar bag. Very, very interesting how, like, it's an unmined bit of comic history. Like, I don't know how, like, Tomorrow's hasn't tackled, especially with Roy Thomas being at the helm of that, and also being at the helm of Collected Comics fandom back in the long ago. These supplies are just part of it, you know, and it's something that is unmined. We joked about it, like the Let's Talk Comic Supplies Twitter account probably wouldn't get too many follows.
No, but it's terribly interesting because I was like, I had a theory, maybe it's in conjunction with like trading card supplies as well, because
yeah, they're in there too.
Yeah, you know, nowadays what's the big one, like BCW, right? I think I got some BCW boxes behind me.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
But like when collecting became a thing, okay?
Sure.
Wherein people had to protect their, I guess,
investment.
I was going to say, for lack of a better term, like their asset, right?
Yeah.
Who was the first person to, you know, monetize selling bags and boards? When did they become acid free? When did they do all these things? And then you're finding these ads for Bill Cole. So I, of course, hit Google and I'm looking up history of comic supplies and this and that. Nothing.
It's all slabs,
dude. Well, that was the thing. The only articles I could find were some chat groups on slab sites, forums. Thank you, like CGC and CBCS or whatever, about like the origins of bags in comic advertising.
Yeah,
that you're just showing off now. Like, oh, when was the first advertisement in comics for a short box? Not who was the person who decided to take like a legal box, you know, change the dimensions of it, and say this is now specifically made for comics and collectors. Same things with the bags. I mean, one thing about the Bill Cole thing you haven't mentioned yet, how they mentioned like they have a sealable bag.
Oh, the self-sealer.
Self-sealer.
The picture they use is terrible, though.
Okay.
Like you can't even tell what really is going on here. I mean, that might be an alien autopsy for all I
Hold it a
know.
little bit closer to the
Yeah.
screen. Yeah, oh, hello. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's something going on there. I think there's a
It's
finger
too
in
hot
there.
for TV. Self-sealing
It
bags. That's
is.
what it
It
is, you
is.
know?
Yeah. We just got demonetized.
Okay. I didn't know we're monetized to begin with. I thought we were just making the money for the tube. But yeah, so like, okay, I am a big fan of resealable bags. You don't like them,
Mhm.
I love them.
No. Hmm.
When did those come about? You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
who wanted those? Ah, you
Yeah.
see, all these untapped questions and
Hmm.
topics. Nobody's exploring them, and as you mentioned, they're not sexy,
They're not.
so no one cares to find out. But dude, like, I am so interested in that. I could jump out of my
Hmm.
seat and do a little jig.
Yeah. I mean, this would be something that like Reggie and I would spend a year and a half on, and like three people would watch it or listen to
Yeah,
it.
but dude, I think it's important stuff.
I think so too. I think it's a bedrock of the industry.
Mm.
And, like there's a chicken and egg sort of thing you can think about here where it's like, I don't know, when I got my first long boxes, I was probably 11 or 12 years old. I got two of them for Christmas. I didn't have enough comics to fill half of one,
Right?
you know?
Yeah.
But like you see all that empty space in that box and it's like that needs to be filled. And it's like that space is there for comics and you want to fill it. You want to have your entire library. You want to just grow it. It's very, very interesting stuff.
You're so right, man.
Um,
I didn't even think about that. You were absolutely right.
mm,
Because my first box was like part of a Marvel collector's kit
okay.
that I got in like Christmas, and it was green and white, and it had Art Adams like Wolverine on it, and
Okay.
so it's so weird now because when I see printed boxes, I'm like, who would waste their money on that? But of course, that's how I got my start. Was my mother gave me this little kit. But yeah,
Sure,
seeing
sure.
that gap, you're like, dude, imagine if I could fill this.
Right.
Can you imagine? And now, how many long boxes do you have?
Oh God, like
Dude, it's
113?
ridiculous, right? But it all started with
Yeah.
that little gap that you were just like, man,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be hitting the
Gotta
big
fill it.
time if I could fill this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also akin to what we were talking about earlier, looking at your spreadsheet or your CLZ and seeing those
Yeah.
uninterrupted runs. All these
Mm-hmm.
things are part of the psychosis. I was going to say psyche, but that would be wrong.
Yeah.
Of collecting.
Oh
So
yeah.
you should definitely reach out to Bill Cole
I think I'm going to.
and just
I'm
see
gonna
if
see if
there's a
there's anybody there who is a historian because they have like the
yeah.
about page where they actually use the word ephemera. I made sure to send that to you because
It's a bonus.
it's like you buy a white car and suddenly every car on the road is white.
Mm,
It's like ephemera is everywhere. But I do want to. I would love to chat someone up about how the process behind it.
yeah.
Was this a need that needed to be filled, or was this a need you were manufacturing? You know?
How did Bill get into it? Like, what was, I really,
Hmm.
because even then, I mean, I'm just speculating here, to use a crappy word, but,
Hmm.
it ties into conventions and people selling things
Sure.
and everything else, like back in probably the 60s for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I mean,
Were
really,
these made primarily for transport? Were they
yeah.
just like, oh, I need to get these comics to the Plaza Hotel?
Yeah. So definitely reach out to Bill Cole or his
Hmm.
ancestors and
Yeah.
find out what's going on and make it a Bada Bin exclusive. You tell them
Oh
that too.
yeah.
You say, you guys going to be on the Bada Bin show.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
big time hot stuff. Cool Modi, you'll be
Yep.
good. And yeah, even though
BYOC. Bring
I
your own chili dog.
bring your own chili dog. Even though I am imagining like that one person, like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? Let me get Jim for you. And Jim's like at his desk, and they're like, Jim, someone's curious about the history of Mylar bags, and he's just like, finally.
No, let's go get him. He's emptying out the ashtrays.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I knew my day would come. I knew it was gonna happen. And
I don't remember which Superman creator they kept employed by having him empty the cigarette trays at DC
oh,
offices.
really? That's what it was. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we keep him on the payroll. He empties the ashtrays.
Oh,
It's like, wow, it's a dick move.
I didn't
But
get the in joke. I was just laughing because I can imagine that's what someone there is actually doing.
hmm.
And he's just this untapped freaking knowledge base of
Think
all
so.
stuff as far as our collecting supplies.
And the attribution of valuation
Mm-hmm.
predicated on the use of these supplies. Like, I remember the first time I got a bagged and boarded book, I thought I was hot shit. You know, it
Right.
was probably something that's worth 50 cents now, but it's like, wow, you know, because like books didn't come bagged and boarded back then.
Hmm.
You know, you would get them at the 7-Eleven, wherever the hell. Even at the comic shop, they would not be bagged and boarded until they were on the wall or in the back issue bin. Nowadays, everything's bagged and boarded, pretty much. Just because I guess they give you as much as they can to get you in the store.
Or they charge you for them.
Or they charge you for them.
Right.
DCBS charges me for them. I think it's like 12 cents per, but which adds up. But but I remember like the first like ElfQuest book I got that had a bag and a board. It's like I was hot stuff.
You were probably
You
like
know?
looking at it too, like, oh, look at that sheen. Look
Yeah.
at that. This is special. This is unique.
It's,
Yeah.
you know, and I remember like it was probably in previews back in the day. They were advertising in the supply section, which is another thing I'd love to take a look at, where they it was like interlocking frames,
Uh-huh.
so you could actually put the comics on your wall.
Right.
And I think at that point I had something like 30 comics, and I'm like, oh, if I could have all 30 of my comics on the wall, you know,
Right.
how cool would that be?
Yeah.
And you know, of course, that doesn't happen, but there's that weird valuation mentally. It's like even just seeing something on the wall at any shop,
Yeah.
it immediately becomes more important.
Dude,
You know?
I've talked about before, I go to these places now, let's say half price books or whatever.
Sure.
If they're not bagged and boarded, I don't even bother.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can.
Because I just imagine people rifling through them and pulling them out and everything else. And yeah, if you pull them out, they're the rattiest piece of publication you've ever seen in your life, you know? So I'm like,
Bayou Billy.
Bayou Billy #1! Exclamation mark. Or point.
And the other thing with half price books is they use their crappiest price tags on their clearance stuff.
Yeah,
So
the
it's like
yellow
if you-
ones, yeah.
The yellow ones. So
Yeah.
if you try to take, especially if you get like a Baxter stock book from DC back in the day, that cover's coming with it. You know, those do not come off lightly. So yeah, if you go to half price books and you go to the bins and they're not bagged and boarded, don't even bother.
Have I discussed with you, at least on air, how my half price books used to be like Mecca? It was this wonderful place to dig.
You did talk about a decline. I don't know if you were getting into any specificity
Well,
of it.
what happened recently, because like me and Beto, my friend Beto,
Mm.
we were going to go on a hunt a couple weeks back. I brought it up how we went to the movie trading company.
Yes.
And we had brought up half price books. And it's like, yeah, but dude, like, okay, first things, the bins are stuffed. Just completely.
Oh yeah,
to the
you can't even
brims.
get your finger in there.
And
Yeah.
there's tons of them. So you would think immediately, like, look at all these bins. This is going to be fantastic. But as you mentioned, you can't even get a finger in there. Okay. A lot of books are not bagged and boarded, too. 3, it used to be half price off cover.
Yep.
Not no mo. Everything is
Nope.
$2. Everything starts at $2. Unless it has a price tag on it, and it could in fact be more. So
Sure.
it went from like a couple of years back, we're like, yeah, we're going to half price books. It's going to be a
Oh, yeah.
blast. And now going, we're skipping half price books.
Yeah.
They
not
ruined
worth,
it.
Not even worth popping in.
And that's
Yeah.
a crazy thing to me too. It's like a lousy business decision because you have these bins.
They're just sitting there.
They're just so full.
Mm-hmm.
You have so much stock you need to get rid of. You're
Yep.
raising prices?
Yeah.
Where's the logic in that, I ask you?
Yeah. I mean, because I was first brought into half price books for the trades.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was on a hunt for the Marvel Essentials, you know, the big bone books,
Sure.
because they would have them in there regularly for like $5 each. It's like, okay,
Yep.
I can go and I'll have reading for weeks, you know. And then I'd see like the cheapo bin there, and I'd start rifling through that, and then it's like, oh, this is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think my box might actually be here now.
Oh, so now I have to entertain again?
In a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But now even the trades and whatnot are ridiculously overpriced. Yep, that is my bin, my
All right.
box. Cool, I'll get that in a minute. But everything is marked with an out of print sticker. So it's like you could find like a New 52 Batman trade, and it'll say out of print because that version is out of print. And instead of it being $20 like the cover price is, or half price at $10, it's like $34.99. It's like This isn't a boutique store.
Yeah.
This is a garage sale.
Yep.
I don't know.
Dude, in my store was the flagship, or it is the flagship.
Yeah,
And
it is,
we
huh?
used to have a great selection of Mad magazines, Cracked magazines.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot going on with that store that was to like, to really
Sure,
get into. You
sure.
could spend a lot of time there. And man, they just let it go to bleep. So whoever is
Yeah.
in charge with the comic section at the
Mm-hmm.
Dallas flagship location of Half Price Books,
Fix your shit.
if you can hear me now, look at my face. My disappointment is beyond measurement. You've really done a terrible job, and I'm sorry. You're probably, and I always try to like say this. You're probably a nice
You're
guy.
probably the nicest person in the world.
I was just saying that about Skylar Partridge earlier, the artist, upcoming artist for Action Comics. Probably nicest cat on this side of the block. I get it, but dude, no, 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 no. You need to reassess your career goals, what you're doing there, and honestly,
Ask yourself why you're doing it.
yeah, you should probably be fired. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go get my box now.
Grab a
So
sharp
you want-
object to cut the box with, okay? Make sure you have a knife, a razor blade. Don't use a key. Not a good
I
idea.
don't have any keys. Okay,
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay, he'll be right back. Chris is on the move right now to go grab his box of comics. Isn't that awesome? You know what I mean? Good mail. How often do we receive junk? I mean, mail in itself is kind of a weird thing because it's mostly spam, right? I mean, I can say for myself, when I go to my mailbox, because I don't have the atypical mailbox attached to my home or like one at the end of my driveway, because apartment living, brah. So I have like this the unit thing where you get like your own little box, And when I go get my mail, it's always like spam from Charter, this loan company, this whatever, or bills. So mail sucks. Okay, established, great. When you get your comic shipment, whether it's regular mail, UPS, what have you, it's just this great feeling that something good has arrived specifically for you, tailored to what you actually enjoy and care about. So I love that comic shipment. So, like, Chris only gets his books once a month. I get mine bi-weekly. And there are times where the shipment is whatever. Like, even this week, I got it yesterday. I think I only had 10 new books in there, which, isn't a whole hell of a lot. But I could basically just say send it once a month and I'll have 30 books, more bang for my package, if you will. I was going to say bang for my buck, but that's not necessarily applicable. But dude, I love getting my comics in the regular. So every 2 weeks, I have something to look forward to. Now you may be saying, Dave, why not just go weekly then? Because I don't want to go broke on shipping, okay? I can't do it. I am just a blue-collar worker living on a measly salary. Do we hear that? Hark! Hark, I hear the sound of a man with new comics. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Hey.
Chris has returned.
What I missed?
His hair is a little disheveled.
It is.
He looks a little bit of a mess here.
It's true.
Oh, look at that hefty box you have there. Good mail.
I have my wife's right-handed scissors.
Okay.
Which, for a left-handed person, they're not very useful.
I didn't even realize they ever made another version of scissors.
Huh?
I didn't even realize they made another version of scissors for left-handed people. I figure it sucks to be you.
I'm guessing you're not left-handed.
I'm not, but that's what I'm saying. Just, it's one of those things.
Your boy is.
Sucks to be you, man. You're left-handed. Well,
There we go.
use
All
your
right.
teeth.
Okay, here we go.
All right, let me make you full screen. This is your show. You show us what you got. I'm gonna stay silent in the background here. It's all Chris now.
I want you to chip in, of course.
Yeah, eventually. Dig it out, baby.
Got it. Okay, this is the stack here. And this is exciting, isn't it?
Yes, very. I am titillated.
Me too.
I can see through
Very
your
well
rusty-colored
protected,
shirt.
Dave.
You could cut diamonds with those nips you got there. Holy moly! Calm
Sorry.
down there, Hercules.
Okay. All right. That is first time I'm seeing these. Let's see. Got, what is that? Absolute Wonder Woman number 4. I thought I dropped it already. I guess not.
Butterfingers.
Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 66. Storm number 4. Laura Kinney Wolverine number 2. These are all those X-Men books. I didn't know. I thought I dropped this after the first one. I guess not.
Well, there you go. Now you got to buy them all.
That one there. Action. Cable Love and Chrome number 2. Psylocke number 4.
Easy there, big fella. You're slamming those books around like they're free. Stop it now. I hear you slapping them. So. Calm down.
Deadpool number 11.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. See, I'll move those out of the way so I don't knock them over. JLU 3.
Yeah.
You read that one yet?
Yeah. You're not going to be thrilled with that, my friend. I'm sorry. If you want to get rough with a book, get rough with JLU number 3.
Uncanny number 9. Here, Tech 1093. Superman 22.
Goodish.
FF 28.
Remember I reviewed that last week?
Yeah.
You can get rough with that one too, okay, amigo?
Oh, here's one that's been running pretty late. Wolverine Revenge number 4. This is the Hickman Capullo. Flash 17. Phoenix number 7. I don't know what the hell this is. X-Men Xavier's Secret number 1.
Okay. This kind of feels like new release bingo. You like if I had like a bingo card.
Yeah.
Like Phoenix number 4. Bingo.
Yeah. Very weird.
Yes.
Green Arrow number 20.
Okay, groovy.
Which is a good one.
Nice.
Mystique number 4. See, I went all in on these X books, man. Check the other bundle here.
Rip it open. Go Hulk.
See here, Jesse DeYoung says this is the reason to watch.
Oh yeah, the new release bingo, indeed.
Yes.
This is all in real time. Okay, this is happening live, ladies and gentlemen, live on your screen.
You can see my secret shame here as to all the money I spend on
the X books
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Deadpool number 10.
Hey.
With Wade Wilson's back. I didn't know he left.
Yeah. Wow. Surprise.
Yeah. Psylocke number 3. I have 2. Okay. Psylocke number 3.
Wait, that's the other one was Psylocke 4, no?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. You only get your books once a month, so to be expected.
Oh, good. I did get the Luther one shot.
You'll like that.
Mm-hmm. Green Lantern number 19.
You may not like that one as much.
Probably not. X-Men number 10.
Okay. Wait. Let me see that cover again. Is that like from Cyclops' POV or something?
Yeah, I think he's doing like a swipe.
Oh,
here,
okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Titans 19.
Mm.
Exceptional X-Men number 5. Nightwing 122. I don't remember buying this. Green Lantern Fractured Spectrum number 1.
Okay.
Don't remember. Is it at least the Adams? Okay, so it is the actual.
But sometimes they send you
record.
freebies, right? Just because.
Huh?
Don't they send you freebies sometimes?
Occasionally.
Maybe that was.
I don't know if that's because they like me or just ineptness, but
could be. Either or.
Spawn 361.
Bingo.
There you go. Hey, it's this one.
Hey, the cover that you just love and adore. It's gonna be your tramp stamp tattoo.
I thought I dropped that one too. I guess not. Batman 157.
Okay.
JSA 4. Wolverine 6. This one you looked at, right?
Yeah, I've been liking that run. Yep.
Yeah. Phoenix 8.
Okay.
Abbats 5. Amazing 67.
Okay. Hey, real quick, the interiors, is that Ed McGuinness on interiors still, or?
No. Brock Harder?
Brock Harder? What?
Yeah, Rock Harder. Let's take a look here.
Okay. Let's see what we got. Yeah.
It is, the X-Men are in it.
Okay. There's more X-Men
that's
you?
what the art looks like.
Oh. Okay. He's like, shrug it off, whatever. Come on, man, show some joy here. You just got some good mail.
Okay. X-Men 11.
All right, groovy.
I think I got like 4 issues of X-Men this month. Another action. Did I miss the Bones?
The
Atomic Skull.
That's the newest one. I just got that one this week too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, baby, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
One world under doom. It just came for you.
I didn't know I bought that either.
See, surprise! You don't even know what the hell you sub to anymore.
I know. Magic number 2.
Okay. More X-affiliated titles.
And finally,
Aquaman number dos. Yeah, I got that too. I was going to read that tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which books are you most excited about reading out of that stack, that hardy pile that you now have in front of you?
Probably Batman, Superman, Green Arrow, probably Absolute Batman. Aquaman I'm kind of interested in, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, mostly the DC stuff.
Okay. I think you should probably dig into some of that X-Men stuff since you have such an abundance of every side character, every adjective for every X title.
Dude, I'm looking at the stack right now. It's big.
Yeah. Push it. See if it could kill somebody if it topples over.
I don't know, I need to call Bob Cole or whatever his name is, the box man.
Bill Cole.
Bill Cole.
Put some respect on his name, fool.
I know.
Jeez Louise.
I was thinking about his brother who's emptying the ashtray.
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, all right, groovy. All right, so your new comics have arrived. We just went through each and every individual issue. Mm-hmm, wonderful. Mm-hmm. Jesse had mentioned this is must-see TV.
It is.
Forget Friends, forget Seinfeld. We want to see Chris's recent acquisitions via mail order. This is great. But it did interrupt what we were talking about previously. Did you have any more ephemera left to go through?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I have one piece of ephemera here. It's not new, but it's one I don't think I've ever shown.
Okay.
I was going through a magazine bin at one of the local comic shops. These bins are just it could be copies of like Arizona Highways in there. It could be Starlog. It could be all sorts of magazines here.
Okay.
And there's also...
Time Life? Is Time Life magazine?
Oh, yeah.
In there?
Oh, yeah. All sorts of stuff. And I found this, not knowing what the hell it is. It is a Super BB.
Super BB, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. What's this all about, this Super BB? I'm going to make you full screen. I want to see the cover up close here. Super BB.
And see all these hot new characters of whatever year this came out.
Okay.
This came out. When did this come out? I have no idea when this came out. It's got the Warner logo on it instead of DC. 1978.
Great year.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this is Super BB number 2, so there's more.
Oh, now you got to collect them all.
I have to track down.
Yes.
I have to track them down here. And this is like an educational book, basically.
All right.
It's helping to learn kids how to read and whatnot. So it's right there. I don't even know if these have any like actual credits.
What does the BB stand for? I'm not quite sure where that comes from.
That's a great question.
What is BB? What is the meaning behind the BB? It's not like, Superman ABC. We're teaching you how to read. It's just like maybe we're teaching you how to read incorrectly.
I have no idea what the BB might be.
B. Oh crap!
Yeah. Oh, and there's the issue number right there. BB2.
Oh, all right. It's the best BBQ I ever BB2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we got Wilson Forbes here, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Of all time.
Guy's electric, bro.
He is.
Yeah, right on. All right. Huh. How much did this run you, this Super BB, that we don't even know what BB stands for?
It was probably $1.
$1, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Wilson Forbes, Terror of the Deep.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is...
Glub, glub, glub.
Glub, glub, glub. $1 spent on this weird-ass magazine because of your desperate love for ephemera that just won't quit.
It's true. And then you can learn to draw Superman as King Kong on the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is really weird, actually. This seems like a acid trip this book.
It's like this is like the dollar store thing, like the knockoff. Like Superman would have like a beard or something. Just
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
It's like no, original character.
Yeah.
This is Super BB, damn
And
it.
it's got Time Warner. I mean, it's not like a play on. It's not like Time Borner or something, is it?
Yeah,
It's
no, it's
legit.
legit. It's legit.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, real quick, you found this in, like you said, the magazines and everything else.
Mhm.
Was this like one of your regular places that you dig, or was this like a random
Yeah.
spot, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah. Regular stop.
all right. So you're aware of the odd selection they do have in these
Yeah.
magazine bins.
Oh yeah, this is where I find a lot of. I found a lot of my weird ephemera in these. These are basically garbage boxes.
Okay.
It's like they're in this box, and like every few days they might move a little bit closer to the dumpster. You know.
Yeah, well, that's like your stack of comic shop news, right? That you had
Oh, yeah.
acquired. Same thing. You're like, they're gonna like just throw these things out, so I might as well just take them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, man, you just had one of the fullest segments you've ever had on this
I
program.
know. My throat is sore.
Yeah, dude. Between like your current reads, your back issues, your mail call, as the kids like to
know.
say that just came in
That's what they
today,
say.
more ephemera than you can like even handle. This is mind-boggling stuff. So you would think that attention from here on out should be solely on me
Perhaps.
because you've gobbled up so much valuable
Chris Yu
time.
says.
Yeah.
Chris Yu says Super BB stands for Super Bada Bin.
Oh, I like it so much.
That might be our new logo.
There we
We got a new logo.
Super BB, indeed. It's funny that Chris, you chimed in because I jest saying it should all be about me now, but rather I think we should shift gears and get into Chris Yu's email. So remember, if you ever want to contact us. By the way, I fumbled that right out of the gate. badabinshow@gmail.com or on the socials at badabin or at badabinshow. Yeah. So, without further ado, Chris, will you load up the email and proceed to read?
It is on its way here, and I'm also going to pull up last week's episode to see if there's any comments.
Oh.
Well, I'll get to that in a bit.
Okay, yes, let's hit the email.
I don't want to open too many things.
Yeah,
here.
no. Keep it simple, brother.
Alrighty. Hello, the Bada Bin Show. Another great episode showcasing your love for comics. The return of Bada Bin Trivia was a highlight for me. I ended up tuning in late, so I watched post live. I was excited to get all 4 Bada Bouquet questions right, but I must admit the Ramon answer was just a guess. That was a serious deep cut into Hulk history. And I think that was like the easiest question for me.
Yeah, that's weird.
Ramon is everywhere for me. I need to ask if Dave is going to use that Magnum PI Funko Pop alongside the Jessica Fletcher Funko Pop to recreate the crossover episode of those 2 series.
Huh.
There was a crossover episode?
There was. Each series had 1 episode as a 2-episode crossover. And,
wow.
Real quick here, I'm actually putting on hand sanitizer. I'm sorry, you're full screen, so let me change this around here. Let's transition. Because, Mr. Yu... Oh, I can't reach. See, this is the problem when you're wired. I used to use wireless headphones. When I do it, can I reach? But I love any opportunity to show off my action figures. Jessica Fletcher is actually like this Toonie TV. She's not actually a Funko. So she would kick Thomas Magnum's ass because she's far more articulated.
Is there a Magnum version of Toonie TV?
No, there isn't. So there is no base of comparison for a crossover event. Now, if we're just talking strictly plastic, I suppose I could, but then maybe there'd be reservations made for me in a rubber room,
Perhaps.
So perhaps.
And there's no Murder She Wrote Pop either, huh?
There is.
Oh,
there is. I do not have it. It's a wee bit out of my price range.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we gotta check that out.
Oh no, here he goes.
Let's see here. This is Murder She Wrote.
Or you can just put JB Fletcher, but either or.
Funko. I'm guessing this will probably come up easier. Wow.
Yeah. What's it going? What are you finding on eBay?
I'm on eBay right now.
What's the lowest price you see on there?
Lowest price so far is $70.
I was going to say about $90. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot in the 90 and up. Oh. $9.99 plus $139.99 delivery.
That's how they get you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I missed the boat on that Funko because I'm not really, I don't know, man. Like, I try to stay present as far as and aware on, for example, McFarlane pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
Some Marvel Legends, not a whole ton, but still, I mean, stuff just comes across my feed, or like if I'm on like a social network, it's targeted to me because I look at a lot of action figure
Sure.
stuff. Funkos is usually by accident. So I'm kind of late to the party when it comes to like, oh wow, I'd actually dig that Funko. And by the time I show up at the party, they're like, admission is 70 something dollars. No, thank you.
And not for nothing,
Mm.
it's not a great pop.
Yeah, that's true. It's really nothing to really say. It just like looks like a lady.
It looks like, yeah, because like my wife is a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan,
Mm-hmm.
and she saw the pops and she's like, it's just a blonde girl. It's like you don't know who this person is. It's like who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a great pop. The cheapest one I found as a sold is out of the box $30.
Okay. To be honest with you, I can live without it. I do have
Mm,
my Toonie TV here, and
yeah.
plus I've had on back order. It was supposed to be a pre-order. There's a NECA figure which is quite splendid, and I've
Hmm.
been dying to get my hands on that because I do realize, or I know, it's not on pre-order anymore. You can buy them in different places. I just want my
Hmm.
pre-order price. So I will sit patiently waiting for that to come. And I just got an email about it the other day. It was like, yeah, releasing now in March. I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do? I'm just gonna
Yeah,
hopefully don't
how much you
cancel
can
it
do.
because I want it. Darn it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm seeing what Magnum things there are here.
When we were kids though, that was pretty
Mm,
awesome because all your toys and stuff. I mean, realistically, when you think about it, our generation, and you are a
hmm.
little bit younger than I am, not by much, but we were the generation that was like targeted for the tie-ins between action figures, cartoons,
Oh yeah.
movies, and even comics. Because you
Hmm.
remember, like Marvel had like Star Comics and stuff
Oh
that
yeah.
would tie into cartoon properties or action
Sure.
figure lines.
Yeah, and they
Things
had
like
GI Joe, of course. Yeah.
He-Man's when they initially came out came with
Hmm.
a complimentary comic book
Yep.
for the cartoon and everything. So that was really a product of that age. Prior to that, when we were talking about the '60s and '70s, it wasn't the same way.
No.
Major forms of media weren't necessarily marketed as toys as such. Star Wars really kicked it off, I think, in a major way. But we're not going to talk
Mm,
about all of that right now. We're talking about
mm,
Chris Hughes' email. But it is, I think, when we talk about history in general and go, okay, when you grew up, what's something unique to your generation compared to whatever they have now? I go,
mm.
well, video rental stores, and
Sure.
of course, like the tie-in
Hmm.
merchandise kicked off when I was a kid, and it was a
Oh
glorious
yeah.
time to be alive.
No, and I think a lot of the stuff that's going on now is reflective of our upbringings. How like we can refer to something from the 80s right now, and that's 40 years ago. But if we were doing the same thing in the 80s, we'd be referring to the 40s. That feels like a hell of a long time ago, even back in the 80s.
I know. I
Like,
know.
I was actually talking to my buddy Walt about some pro wrestling stuff.
Okay.
And there was an interview a guy did in the ring, and he referred to Shawn Michaels, a wrestler, losing his smile, which was like an excuse he used to like give up the title without losing it.
Oh,
Now he made this comment. He's like, "Oh, I might lose my smile," and I was like, "Wow, that's a reference to 30 years ago." And I'm thinking if we went back to the 90s and did a reference from 30 years before that, that'd be a reference from the 60s.
yep, indeed. It's
It's
painful
weird,
stuff. Yeah.
and it's weird how like time is like compressed. Where I don't know, it just feels like time has gotten shorter the longer it goes on.
Mm.
Very, very weird.
It's very weird. It can be depressing. It can be, I don't know.
Oh, it could kill you.
It can. It really can. I was going to say it can be cool
Yeah,
too, but
yeah,
alas, we'll put a pin in that.
we'll do that. Back to Chris Usable.
Okay.
Hearing you talk about the Batman in the 50s volume and the Free Comic Book Day Dear Justice League issue touches on a subject that fascinates me. Comics have lost the audience they were first written for. From the 30s to the 60s, comics were written for an audience of 8 to 12-year-old boys. They were silly and disposable and repetitive, but they kept the kids coming back until they outgrew the medium. Then the next batch of 8 to 12-year-olds came over and took over buying the comics. Once comics started taking themselves more seriously and tried to be like more legitimate literature, the age of comics when they did that, the age of the comics reader got older and older until there were no more 8 to 12-year-olds buying comics anymore. The audience that kept comics thriving for 50 years was gone almost entirely by the 1990s. Since then, the age of comics readers has steadily gotten older and the amount of comics buyers has steadily gotten smaller. Comics have tried to regain that young audience many times, but they no longer understand what that audience is. They have been writing comics not for 8 to 12-year-olds for so long now that they don't know how to write something to catch the interest of that young age group.
You know, I think, listen, it's so true. And this actually kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier with the new releases when I was talking about the DC news from Comics Pro there, like crypto in particular. Because crypto really being a movie centric thing, like they're producing this book solely, I think, because of his appearance in the movie. You would think it would be written for a 6 to 8-year-old and it would be in like a supermarket checkout line.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like next to Archie's Digest or something.
Of course.
But instead,
but it's not.
It's not. It's for the audience made up of us, which is
it's $5, and
as Chris just pointed out, is what it is now. Like, you know, the audience completely over time completely changed. It also ties into the whole collector thing too. I mean, the tentacles reach far. Do you know what I mean?
They run deep. Yeah.
So that is an excellent point.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like I remember. Probably around the time of Civil War, Marvel's like where they announced like an all ages line. It was like the Marvel Adventures.
Yeah.
And being an idiot, I bought like the first issues of all of them. And it's like, if this was what was put on my plate when I was growing up, I would have never come back. There's nothing here. It's very, very disposable. Nothing matters. It's all snark. And it's like, hey, aren't comics silly? Well, yeah, of course, but could we just tell a story?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And really, if you're talking about like when I first picked up comics in the early 80s,
yeah,
you could say, all right, well, listen, the audience did age up a little bit because, you know, Marvel, for example, was more appealing to college level kids or something like that. Of course. But even then, you know, the consumer was still me, the 5-year-old, the 4-year-old, the 10-year-old.
It could be anybody.
Exactly. So you didn't necessarily need, and I know I just brought up, for example, Star Comics from the mid 80s.
Sure.
But still, which was a kiddie line, if for anybody who didn't know, you know, Planet Terry or whatever. Yeah. But, you know, you didn't need to dumb things down. You just put out a product and it could appeal to just wide range of ages and demographics and everything else.
It wasn't the Star Comics version of the Avengers.
No, you could pick up the Avengers at 10 years old, and enjoy it 20
and understand
years old.
it.
Yes, exactly, right? And you still got
and enjoy it.
What you just mentioned, where it's like it matters. It's something. It's continuity. You feel like you're a part of something. You're in this secret club.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's cool. Like it's great. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the one I go back to, love Jeff Johns, but on his Avengers, during his Avengers run, there was a scene there in an issue of Avengers where Hank Pym shrunk himself down and did some things to his wife under the blankets. And it's like, could you imagine someone, when we discovered the Avengers at 10, 11, 12 years old, picking up that issue, bringing it home? It wasn't Avengers Max. It wasn't Avengers, you know, After Dark. It was Avengers. It's like, I don't know.
You know, I wasn't even thinking about like the content as far as like if it's NC-17 or.
I mean, that content's part of it.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, but that's like a line that I have a hard time like really defining, just because I was also reading material that wasn't necessarily within my age group at far too early in my life. You know what I mean? Like we've discussed,
but not as, I don't think it was as
explicit as turning yourself into a little miniature person and jump into a vagina. Probably not.
And then coming out of the blankets and saying, "Hey, it's your turn now."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I missed that issue. I do have some of Jeff Johns' Avengers run. I got to find that issue now. See if I do in fact own it, and
you might.
I might, and if so, I mean, probably just read it in bed.
There you go.
Yeah, little bag of candy.
Flashlight. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, comics ain't made for for kids anymore. That's why they are in the state they're in. Who'd have thought the kids would make it so like we wouldn't get constant reboots? You know, you didn't need them back then because you had readers all the time. Anyway, back to Chris Yu. He says, my favorite couple in comics, because this was we did our Valentine's episode, so we asked the question, or the question was asked of us, and we turned it back around. His favorite comics couple is Ma and Pa Kent. They were always just plot devices in the pre-crisis Superman and Superboy stories, but once Byrne rebooted Superman, the Kents became the most real characters in comics. They were always there to counsel Superman when he had any kind of problem. They were the source of everything that made him the man he was. And they were always a solid couple. They never strayed from their dedication to one another. They reminded me of my own parents, and that is what made them real to me and makes them my favorite couple in comics. That's a great one. That is a great one.
Yeah, that is a good one. And, to be honest with you, I wasn't really, I don't know. It's like when you think about, for example, I had brought up on that episode, which is last episode. If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. Mm-hmm. Alec Holland, or Swamp Thing rather, and Abby. And I kind of mentioned how, after Swamp Thing's death, she matured to the point where she was an independent woman. And it was very important to show that in comics that not all female, side characters have to be damsels in distress and everything else. So when he's talking about the Ma and Pa Kent thing, all of my life, essentially, they have been that support group or support unit for Superman.
Yeah.
You forget that, years prior, they
died of a tropical disease. Yeah.
Yeah, they were just little bit things, bit characters or whatever in the comics. So, realizing now that they are the solid foundation to why Clark or Cal is who they are. It is very important. So that is a good selection to make.
And I'm surprised that nobody has actually tried to, the way comics are written now, I'm shocked that nobody's tried to pervert that relationship and make it so Pa has 3 kids from another family that he snuck off to. He wasn't really in the war.
Well, that's in the Dark Instar universe, you see. That's where that comes from. So, yeah.
Because I think they've done that multiple times with Thomas and Martha Wayne. Oh. Where it's oh, well, they really weren't that great. But I don't think they've ever done that with Ma and Pa Kent. They might have.
Well, I mean, if you think about the tonality of the books too, Superman, when you think of him as optimism and
sure.
doing light, exactly. Thank you. I was going to say always doing the right thing despite the obstacles. While Batman is in a much darker tone. I guess you could believe that Thomas Wayne was taking his porn stash and
doing the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Having some lady callers of the night. Visiting him or what have you, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Yeah, I could see that, I guess.
And I was introduced to Ma and Pa Kent. I'm guessing where a lot of people of my age were introduced to them during the funeral for a friend.
Sure.
It was I didn't know Superman from a hole in the wall before that, really. You know who he is, the beats of it, but I didn't know he had parents that were still around or parents at all. And seeing them come to Metropolis and have that weird moment with Lois where they wanted to mourn someone that they couldn't mourn because they couldn't claim ownership of them.
Right.
Very, very heavy stuff. Very mature stuff. Not explicit, but very mature. And as a 11 or 12-year-old, I was able to get it. And it left a lasting impression on me. So very good stuff. Ma and Pa are good characters. I don't even know where do we have a Ma and Pa anymore?
Yes, we do.
Both of them?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, okay. Because I know they killed Pa back during that Brainiac.
Correct. Right. The Jeff Johns.
Yeah, Johns.
Right.
And then New 52, they were gone, right?
Correct. I have to jog my memory on that. I don't want to give you a solid answer.
And then Rebirth, they were both back? Or was one back and then the second one came back too?
John was dead.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. Now, you know what you have me doing right now? In my head, I'm trying to remember covers with a banner on top of them. Okay, Rebirth. Okay. New 52. Okay. Dude, to be honest with you, I don't remember off the top of my head. I really don't. I just really want to bring up the fact that recently, I don't know if you caught it, when John, Pa Kent, acquired that shrink gun, the shrink ray gun, and decided to shrink himself down and So Ma Kent, she. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Let's not talk about that right now. Let's not do that.
Oh, he shrunk down under the blankets.
Yeah, well, you know.
Let me see here. I'm looking at the DC Wiki page here for Jonathan Kent of Prime Earth.
Okay. Yeah. So all
Who,
right. So we're talking.
New 52.
We can establish he died. Jeff Johns, like you said, the Brainiac run. New 52. He is what?
Let's see here. And
Damn.
boy, I own Pa Kent's first appearance. Action Comics Volume 2, Number 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
don't
let's
do that
see
to
here.
yourself.
Huh?
Don't do that to yourself. Just don't.
Let's see here. What am I looking for? In another version of history, Martha and Jonathan Kent died as a result of a car accident on the night of Clark's senior prom, and that was in Action Comics Volume 217 that was revealed.
Right.
His death was revealed to have been caused by the actions of Dr. Manhattan, who had caused Alan Scott to be killed and thus prevented the Justice Society of America from existing.
Okay.
This caused Alan Scott to survive and the JLA to exist, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so at the end of Doomsday Clock, with all the undo of the redo, the parents were alive. It was later revealed that Batman had hidden them on a farm off the grid with the same technology he used to cloak the Batcave, and that was revealed in Superman Heroes #1 and Superman Villains #1. Is that one that was after the Secret Identity came out, right?
I don't have either issue, heroes or villains, so you might have to.
I'm gonna
You might
click on a link.
Yeah,
damn it.
Keep using that wiki like nobody's business.
Okay, so this is Bendis, Fraction, and Rucka.
Oh, hello. Okay.
Yeah, the truth will set him free. The future of the DC universe begins here. So I'm guessing this is right after the Secret Identity came out. So I don't know if we answered any questions there, but
we didn't. You know what I
they're
think?
alive.
We just made it worse.
I think we might.
I really do. Like,
it's what I
we're
do.
both like, yeah, we love Superman. Is Mom and Pa Kent alive? Damn, I don't even know anymore. Jeez Louise, were they alive during this? I don't know.
It's scary, isn't it?
It's effed up. If what it is.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we've been in this biz for decades and decades now.
I can tell you what's happening right now because I am reading right now. As far as 3 years ago, I don't remember. You know what I mean? But yet again, we're talking about Ma and Pa Kent.
And we've had like 3 crises since then, so who knows?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris Yu continues.
But he does not.
Oh, dang,
That's
that was
where
it?
he finished. That was it. It was a short one.
Oh, man, that's all we got. He just messes up with the continuity of the lifestyles.
Continuity copying.
Of Ma and Pa Kent. We just came off like complete buffoons. All thanks to that email.
But at least we know that Swamp Thing was created by Scott Snyder.
Oh, geez, Louise. Don't even get me started on that, will you? I remember you had brought that up to me before, and I was like, dude, people actually believe that? You're like, yep, they sure do. Uh-huh. I'm like, oh, my God. But anyway, hopefully, if you are a Ma and Pa Kent aficionado, if you can remember every nook and cranny of Ma Kent's fanny, email us badabinshow@gmail.com. And the shrinking ray thing is just fake. I was just making that up. So don't.
That's that was in the John Byrne generation story.
There you go. Yeah, right. Oh no, boy. Oh boy. Yeah. So anyway, all right. What else we get to talk about? What do you got cooking here, buddy? I know you had a slew of topics you wanted to hit everybody with.
Did I? Thought that was it.
Oh, really? That was all? Oh no. Oh no. I just feel like we were stumbling and bumbling all over the Ma and Pa Kent thing. We gotta like rebound somehow. We gotta, bring it back.
Horoscopes? I don't know. I don't have a list of books to check the value of. I guess we could check the price of Super BB if it's on the comic book realm.
No, we shouldn't do. We should plan that out. I will say this though. Okay. How about this? The trivia. I'm glad that Chris, you really enjoyed Bada Bouquet. I enjoy putting those together very much. So the fact that someone actually likes them is a good thing, and that he went, 4 for 4. He said, right? Or did he screw up Ramon?
He did.
No. He screwed up Ramon.
No. He guessed Ramon.
Oh, he guessed Ramon. Okay,
but he got it right.
All right. The price guide is right. Is what he always screws up. He says
we all do.
Come on now. But I do have some more in the works as far as trivia. We had mentioned this on the show before. We're going to stick with every major holiday. So remember that. If there's a holiday looming, trivia is coming. So just
Bloomin'.
yeah, exactly. So just hang tight and hold on to your shillelagh because it is right around the corner. Speaking of holidays, too, the Cadbury cream egg, in a cost-cutting move, I've decided to replace chicken eggs with Cadbury cream eggs because they're so expensive. These chicken.
I was going
eggs.
to say they're cheaper.
Yeah, so it's cheaper now to enjoy Cadbury cream eggs. Sometimes it messes up the recipes a little bit, like sunny side up Cadbury cream eggs, a little tricky. But plus, you know, if you're concerned about possibly getting a raging case of diabetes, probably not the best option for you. But if you do want to put a few extra bucks in your wallet, now's the time to stock up on your Cadbury cream eggs, and
you don't got to worry about getting shell in it.
you don't have to worry about shell, no. And you know, if you want to cry foul on the chicken eggs, stick with the Cadbury cream eggs. And I'm surprised I have not had a Cadbury cream egg yet this season. Since,
really?
as you know, I'm such a big fan, and I stockpile them in my freezer so I can enjoy them for many months after Easter. Particularly on my birthday, June 18th of every year, I like to have a Cadbury cream egg with my birthday cake and be like, I worked for this. As you would say, the sweat equity. I put in the work.
Yep, the willpower.
Yes, to have this in my freezer. Yeah, and dude, if I actually like counted how many, because here's the thing too, I'm a snob. If they're loose in a box, I can't buy them. They have to come in a box, like a 5-pack you get at Walmart.
Sure.
The 4-packs rip off, 5-packs are where it's at. So how many packs, like 5-packs, I buy per season is embarrassing. And they're not. I just made a joke like they're cheaper than chicken eggs, which technically is true right now, but they're not cheap.
No, they're not cheap.
You know, and here I am basically spending $1 Cadbury cream egg. So it's like $5 for a 5-pack essentially, or 4 something and change.
Sure,
and I'm going through 20, 30 packs. I mean, this is some serious addiction.
It is.
But they're worth it. They're delicious. They're amazing. They're one of the finest candies ever made.
I had my first Peeps a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was the cinnamon churro flavor, which was surprisingly
when
good.
When will we stop? When is a society as a culture will we just say enough is enough?
It's never enough.
We don't need all these funky flavors of something. We can just stick with the basics and we'll be okay. I think the most exotic I get, like right now I have French vanilla creamer in this coffee. You're the kind of guy, you'll buy all those weird wacky flavored limited edition ones. I don't buy into that.
Yeah, I had what is it? Kit Kat creamer today.
And how much did it actually taste like a Kit Kat?
It tastes more like a Kit Kat if you don't mix it with the coffee.
There you go. So there's a fatal flaw right there in your limited edition coffee creamer. You know what I mean?
Let's see here. We have a 12-pack of Cadbury cream eggs at Walmart right now.
KK? What? Get out.
Price Guide is right. How much you think a 12-pack costs?
$10.
Huh?
$10.
Nope.
Higher or lower?
Higher.
Really? Well, the 5-pack, like I said, is basically like $4.56. I'm not saying that's exact, but I bet you I'm pretty damn close.
Not anymore.
Wait, what?
Not anymore.
I'm going. Oh, Lord.
Inflation's hit.
Oh,
and
no.
the cream eggs are not immune.
Oh, my God. Dios mio, mamma mia. I don't know if I can handle this.
Okay.
$15.
$13.
$13
for a 12-pack.
Breathe, Dave. Breathe. Calm
The
down.
5-pack is now $6.
Get the out of here. Dude, no way.
Yep.
What am I going to do?
Yep.
Oh, Lord.
$5.97.
They used to be $4 something, I swear to God.
I'm sure they were.
Oh,
and a single
no.
cream egg. What is a single cream egg going to set you back?
Oh, God. They must be at least $1 now, right?
$1.25.
Oh, God. Seriously, man, I'm just anti-humanity right now. I really am. This is bad news for everybody.
Oh yeah, it's the end of the world.
Dude, I swear to God, there's so much stuff I can criticize and just get really cranky about, really. And I don't.
Yeah, if you go to Target for the 4-count, it's $4.79.
No. I'm just trying to say, man, I try to control myself because listen, in today
They don't have a 5-count there.
will you slow down? Slow down with the counts. I'm trying to express a sentiment here.
Hit it.
Listen, man, in my old age, I realized like sometimes you have nothing good to say, right? Like the old saying goes, you don't say it at all. You just keep on going. You just say whatever, man. It is what it is. This is life. Carry on. A bubble just came out of my mouth because I'm about to froth. But the Cadbury cream egg, see, I can't even speak now. The Cadbury cream eggs thing is too much for me to bear, dude. Like, what the hell is going on here? Why are we doing this to each other? Can't we just like be nice and all agree that Cadbury cream eggs should be affordable for the masses?
Yeah, you don't want to buy a single at Target.
No, I don't want to buy any.
$1.50.
I don't want to buy a single at all. I want the box.
$1.50.
Look, I'm paying for a premium because nobody else's fingers have been on that foil of the Cadbury cream egg. When you get it in a box, maybe Bill Cole came up with the packaging for this thing because
He might have.
dude, it was great because there's a little window in there, so you can shake it and be like, "They're my little eggies," but no one's been gnawing on them or messing around or tampering, molesting these eggs. But now I don't know, man. This is wild stuff. This is a terrible way to end the Bada Bin show because I'm gonna just curl up into a fetal position and cry for hours on end. You might not even see me next week.
Don't go to your local Walgreens then.
I wouldn't. I don't even go to Walgreens.
$1.99
For a single egg?
for one.
Wow. Damn.
Cats and dogs.
Yeah, exactly, man. This is ridiculous stuff. I don't know.
You need a Cadbury egg Funko Pop.
I might actually buy that. You're right. So maybe that's something. But still. Guys, listen, I think we should probably hit the road soon because it feels like the end of this episode is just bumming me out. I would like to end on a happy note. Like, tell me something good, Chris. I'm looking around. Give me something good. Did you like my t-shirt today?
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the t-shirt streak alive. So, hey, check that out, Chris. Different shirt. The streak is alive. You will not thwart me today. Do you understand, son? Do you get it? Huh? Fresh threads. Booyah. There we go. I'm a fashionista. There's something positive to end the show with. But I do want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to join us either live or in the future on the YouTube channel. It's wonderful to be able to talk comics with my great friend Chris here. For me, every week is an absolute joy and delight until the secrets of Cadbury cream eggs are revealed. But it's really a highlight of my existence. So, Chris, thank you for taking the time, much like our audience, to hang out with me.
Oh, anytime. And I'm starting a new gig next week, so I don't know what the schedule looks like just yet. Once everything actually pans out, it'll be all right. No worries then. Okay. But the first few weeks are going to be training, and it's going to be a little bit more intensive. It's just going to be mornings, so hopefully we're able to figure some sort of ships passing in the night sort of thing next week for the next couple of weeks.
There's a Bada Bin.
Yeah, because I think after that, the schedule will just be Monday through Wednesday in the mornings, so we'll be good to go as usual.
All right, we be good to go. So next week's a little bit up in the air as far as the time and what have you, but we will be here.
Yes.
In some capacity, but just, I know a lot of people like to watch this show during their lunch at work. I even said that we're like a turkey on wheat kind of show because we keep people company because they have no friends.
No mustard, though.
No mustard. They have no friends at work. They can't really socialize, so they have us. We're glad to be here for them.
And we have no friends in life, so it's all good.
We have each other.
That's it.
All right.
As long as we've got each other.
As long as we've got each other. So,
is that Growing Pains or the other one?
That is Growing Pains, yes.
That's our,
we got
what's his face singing, Alan Thicke.
He didn't sing that.
I think he did.
No, he did not. No.
Or did he write it?
But he definitely didn't sing it. I can tell you that right now.
Did Alan
Okay, one last Google before we go. Look what you're doing.
The Growing Pains theme song. That's one of the questions that comes up.
Yeah, no.
He wrote it.
He wrote it. See?
But who sang it?
I don't remember.
Okay, now.
Someone super cool.
Now I got to change the first few letters here. Who sang?
Some cool dude. I don't know.
Alan Thicke? No, not Alan Thicke.
It's not Alan Thicke. It's not. So this is bad. This is bad internet. Very bad. Bad.
Who? Let's see here. The Facts of Life. I don't. Why do I care about the facts of life? I asked about.
We got the world spinning right in our hands, baby. Rain or shine, all the time. Something like the
Yeah, I don't know.
luckiest dreamers, you know me.
B.J. Thomas.
There we go. B.J. Thomas.
Who the hell's B.J. Thomas?
I don't know. Terrible initials, great singer.
Yeah.
All right,
and
let's hit the road. Come on.
that's only season 1 though. Season 2 had Jennifer Warnes.
Yeah,
with
you
it
had
as
to have the
well.
duet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting in the weeds. All right, buddy. Good talking to you. We will talk next week. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to the Bada Bin Show. Follow us on socials. Email us. Get in touch. We love you.
See ya.